WIFTPM.
Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena February 25th through 27th.
You'll never regret. And you, with your pretty brown eyes, I knew, baby, you would change my life. And you opened up my eyes to see I'm excited for our future, but I love our history. Let's throw back to the day that we first met. Let's throw back, I never will forget. Let's throw back to when we fell in love. Let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe. Is it just me? Don't you miss those nights sexing on the beach, playing Isley Brothers in between the sheets? And now we're taking flights from London to Belize. we're popping bottles, endless shopping sprees. Still sexy as can be. I knew you're still the only one for me. Yeah. I'm feeling lucky as can be. I'm excited for our future, but I love our history. Yeah. The day that we first met, let's throw back. I really wanna know. Let's throw back. Let's go back. Let's throw back. Let's go. I wanna go back. Oh, come on now. We were making love to the first time we let's reminisce of the whip. We were making love. Come on now. Let's throw back. Oh, all I wanna do is throw it back. That's all I wanna do. Come on now. Let's throw back, babe. I wanna throw back, babe. Let's throw back, everybody. Let's throw back. If you love somebody, let's throw back. Talk about the love. Let's throw back. Let's throw. I wanna throw back. Reminisce on how it used to be. Oh yeah.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. So many shady characters like Madigan and Blotto. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA gets spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steel on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. For Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Wake up, everybody. Wake up, everybody. Nah, it's the Maze Jackson Show. What's up, y'all? It is your boy, Maze Jackson, back here on a Wednesday. Wednesday, February 16th, 2022. I'm just telling y'all, time is flying. We almost, what is that? 1/6 of the way through with the year. No. Yeah. 1/6 of the way. What are we? February 6th. We're already halfway past the halfway mark in February. And February is a short month. Then you be through with March. Next thing you know, you'll be at top of the quarter.
Best month next anyway.
No, we missed the best month is
This next month.
I guess it is. I'll be here. You know, whatever month I'm here, it's just the best. It's just extra best in January. And, you know, I get a little spillover because I'm so late in January. I be so cold. I'm so cold that the February Aquarians be trying to call me. February Aquarians be like, come on, Maze, just be with us. I'll be like, I'll give y'all a little bit. Just a little bit. I'll give y'all a little love. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. I was talking... y'all remember that song? I talk to myself because there is no one to talk to. People ask me why I do what I do. You remember that song, Riis? You don't even know who it was. You don't even know who it was. It's Christopher Williams, dog. It's the Christopher Williams My Prerogative knockoff.
I already know what it is.
It's my prerogative. Cause I talk to myself, cause there is no one to talk to. But I got somebody to talk to. I got my man DJ Riis, the ruler in the building. DJ Riis, how you feeling this morning?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest. How you doing today, boss?
Hey man, I'm good. I see you got your do-rag on. You must got something to do.
Oh,
you must gotta be funky fresh today. You say, I see you got you. I see you got you. You do what you shagging out the shag or something, man? What you doing? You getting it? Is it fried, dyed, and laid to the side, Riis? You know.
Yeah, a little bit now, man. You know, I got to do a little bit something later, but nah, you know, I get up, be early in the morning, so I got a little semi-dress, so you know, you just be moving, just kind of like coming through.
Now, do you wear your do rag out? Besides, you know, I mean, it's probably part of the style. You know what I'm saying? When you working in media, you know, you could be like, I'm do-ragged out. But do you wear like a do-rag? Like, where do you wear a do-rag?
I probably wouldn't wear like a do-rag out. Like if I was like going somewhere, like as like a style, like a top. Like if I probably had like a hat on or something. Like if I was just like going somewhere quick and I had like a hat on and then like a do-rag underneath. But I wouldn't wear one like. Put like a do-rag on, like go outside.
You like match it with your suit and go out and be like, man.
I hate people that do that. I be like, why are you out
Such
here
hate is such a strong word,
Riis. I dislike when people dress that way.
When they got a matching do-rag to go with them.
I do not understand why you have a matching do-rag in 2022. Like, the fact that you really...
Man, they still living that AI life, man.
If you would have had a black do-rag on, a white, you know, but the fact that you actually color coordinate tells me two things. One, for sure, you are out west. That's for sure. I know you're from out west. So if you imagine your do-rag, and I'm from the west side. Two, oh no, you gotta let go. Oh no, that was too much. You pre-planned your do-rag to match your suit. Oh no, bro!
Man, how you shopping?
You too deep in the game.
I think if you fresh, man, you got your do rag and it can actually be a pocket square.
You too deep.
Pull it out.
You too deep in the game. You gotta let that go. You too deep in the game. Somebody need to tell you to let that. I don't know.
I'm telling you, got the match the Gators too.
If there's anybody in the comments that's matching your do rag with your Gators, or your do rag with your suit, please do me a favor today.
What if you got a dob to go with it?
Let it all go. Let it go. I told you that and men and older men with jumpsuits and dress shoes on. I don't know what it is.
What you mean jumpsuits and dress shoes?
Like they have on like a Jordan jogging fit, and they got on some dress shoes.
They got some Stacey Adams.
Oh my God, please.
Man, because Stacey Adams go with everything.
No, it doesn't.
I can't wait till I get cold enough to wear Stacey Adams with my jumps. I order me a Nike suit.
Don't you do it.
I'm going to give me some Stacey Adams.
Don't you do it.
And I'm going straight to the basketball game with my son.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
You know, like, that's like them grandpa old nostalgia.
Yes.
You know, but you used to think your grandpa was cool. No, not with the,
no.
Did he have a walking suit? I think you know what I like? I'm going to tell you what I do like. I ain't going to even lie. I like when the old dudes be putting on the walking suits, like in the summertime with the matching shorts, and then when they wear their dress shoes with them socks, I think they call them thick and thins. You know, when they got the tall socks and they be thick at the top, but they be kind of like stockinish. But you know, like the old school, they come all the way up the calf, and they be fresh than a mug. I like old men with style. Like what I don't like is so what I like is a stylish, like when I get, like I'm trying to be like dress my age, but stylish age, right? Like I ain't trying to go buy no FUBU suit. Not that it's a FUBU suit. Nah, but I will rock me a Nike, because I need basketball game wear, right? I hate going to the basketball games, and you know, you be going there, and everybody be looking like a hooper, and they got I got my hooper weekend style. When I go to the game.
Going to like a Bulls game?
No. More like when my son is playing. Like to AAU and stuff. You know, it's like a whole little set going on in the AAU circuit. Right? It's like this weird space where, you know, it's like you ain't really, there's a weird thing that goes on at AAU. So I feel like I got to be fresh at the AAU game, but not too fresh because it's Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. So a jogging suit, it's perfect, right? Because you don't.
No dress shoes.
Nah, man. But what I am getting ready to start doing, I'm going to start getting me some fresher gym shoes. Gym shoes, yeah. I know y'all call them sneakers and stuff, but I'm going to add that to my little, so I can have my fresh little basketball wear, so when I go to the game with my son, I could be colder than him. Right, because you know my son be trying to get in the car. Like the other day, he was like, we went to the Bulls game, and he did that whole little. He had to go to the mall because he needed to get him some pants to go with his sweatsuit. I was a little proud though. You know, I was like, look, he cared. You know, like he finally cared what he looked like when he going. You know, because he was going to the Bulls game, he was gonna be in the box, so he was like, just in case, you know, I get panned on over here. I'm fresh, and he'd be so cool at the game. Like, I'd be like, man, he'd be like, I'm watching the game. Riis. Yeah. So, I want to give me some, I do want to do one day, be like the old man, and give me one of them walking suits with the shorts, with the high socks, and I want to wear me some pointy dress shoes. Just for one day. I don't want to do it.
He might well put like a bandana on. I mean,
I want a dab too.
Like a headband. Okay, like a
dab. I want no headband. I want a dab. Right? Like I want to, and then I want to go to the lounge. And, and I got to get me a gold bracelet. Like you got to get you one of them gold bracelet with a pinky ring. Right? But you can't get the real. You got to get the small diamond. You can't get the big diamond if you're gonna do the old man joint. Right? Or you know how they used to get the gold ring with the stone in it. Right? Then you get you a little chain. Yep. And then I want to go to like Family Den.
Neil said it sound like West Side behavior.
Man, shoot. That's what they look like on 87 too. On 87, like off 87 between Stony, like where you could go get you some more. I want to get me some Morris. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I want to do the old black man look. And then I want to have me a Cadillac. Right? And I want to drive. I only want to do it for a day. I only want to do it for a day. Then I want to get back to my.
Daddy, this is.
Right. Like I want to go pick up my granddaughter like that. Right, like my like I want to look like granddaddy, not like pawpaw, not like pops, none of that. I want to pull up like granddaddy. It has some candy.
Playing some Down in the Back, huh?
Right. I would be playing some like
Jodeci or something.
Some jokes.
I'd be like, come and talk to me.
Granddaddy.
I really won't. Like, you know, and I'd be thumping with my sounds in my car, right? And then when I pull up, it'll be all 80s and 90s music. And I step out, and you'll see my Stacey. You know how them Stacey Adams got the black men got the Stacey Adams be on Shine. They be on Shine. And I'm not even Shine. Like, if you got Stacey Adams be cop Shine.
This what your granddaughter gonna have to.
No, just one time.
I know. So like,
Just one time.
clip this, y'all. So in 10 years when it's happening, just know this one.
Nah, she gonna in 10 years. I'm gonna be so fresh.
That's what you gonna think.
No, I'm gonna take. No, I'm gonna have done it already. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it already. Like maybe, like I'm gonna have already done it. But I'm gonna be fresh. You don't even understand, Reese. Then I'm gonna be the freshest granddaddy ever. Freshest granddaddy. We gonna be like my granddad gonna be like, where we going, granddaddy? We finna. Where we going to lunch? We finna leave. Can we please leave? Can we get up out of here? What? Disney World. Let's go. It's the Maze Jackson show. I'm telling you, Reese. Y'all got about 6 more months of Mad Maze Jackson. Y'all around here, brother. Y'all watch the brother. Y'all be like, jump out the window. Dang, he jumped out the window for real, y'all. He was about that black stuff for real.
Trying to say you, man. Just no Stacey Adams. I know you want to put them on.
And I'm getting the Stacey Adams with the yellow ring around them too. With the black with the yellow little thing where you and they ain't gonna be good till they curl up just a little.
You living a dangerous life, man.
I'm telling you, bro. Be the ultimate granddaddy. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. That's my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. I'm getting my old school on. Hey, man, what? Oh, and you know what else I gotta get? I gotta get me some Old Spice. Man, some Old Spice or some, what's the other one? What's the green one? Brute. Man, remember?
Some Axe.
Who?
Axe. Axe spray.
Ask, Reese. Ask.
No,
It's ask.
It's Axe.
No, it's ask.
That's not Axe spray. Hey.
The word is ask. What do
For what? No, Axe spray.
you asking for spray?
No. It's a spray called Axe.
You mean that? Oh, nah, dog. Nah, dog. That's not. That's some old newfangled. That you talking about that stuff? Oh no, that's the stuff my son got in his bathroom. Nah, dog. You mean when it be like wild and sexy? I said nah, dog. You got. Let me tell you, you got to have. If you ain't had no Brute by Fabergé, you don't know nothing about that, Reese. Yet, like, man, when your old man teach you how to shave. And then you got the shave, and then your face all burned up because you ain't really have no hair, but you was just determined to shave. Then he go into the medicine cabinet, and first you used to always see Brute by Fabergé. You used to see that commercial, right? And then you'll see him, and then your face will be tingling, and then it'll hit you with a splash of Brute by Fabergé. And you'll think you was like a grown man. You thought you had on cologne. And you walk around the house for like 30 seconds, it's gone. But you still had on Brute by Fabergé. Then I remember Old Spice. Then when he upgraded to Old Spice and it was like the vanilla bottle with the red light. I used to try and sneak the Old Spice when I was going to school. Like if he was gone first, I'd be. And then that is how people begin putting on too much cologne. Because you're putting on aftershave and you smell really good and then it evaporates. So now you always operating with cologne like aftershave. So you put on more because you think it's going to evaporate. Where cologne is a lot of times oil based. So it sticks to you all day and it's like the faint smell. But it's like when you was a kid and you get the Brute by Fabergé. You be quick. You halfway take a bath in that stuff. Then it be gone. All right, man. I'm just y'all daddy didn't have no Brute. I mean, I remember that commercial, like, and that white lady would look over and he was like, I love a man with Brute by Fabergé. And I would be like,
One day, I'm going to give me
I'm
some
gonna
brew.
look at that commercial.
I'm telling you, look up the brew by Fabergé. And I cannot get that out of my head. That was, I'm telling you. And he would be splashed. And it would be like, one day, I'm going to have me some brew. And then you go to the grocery store, and we buy everything generic but brew by Fabergé. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. Riis, it seems like we all locked and loaded. Let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Let's get this thing up, 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 and away. I am your host, Maze Jackson. My man, DJ Riis, we are live on the soul plane. Riis, the mayor's back at it with this gang ordinance. She is going back in, attempting to seize the assets of Chicagoland gang leaders. She'll be going back in the committee. She's been opposed by everybody. Well, now that Arnie Duncan was really opposing her, but now that he done had some shootings and stuff, they going back at it. Because now they're like, you can't talk about it. So it'll be interesting to see. Riis, I don't know if you saw this. Oh, and by the way, I did get the proposal back from Related Midwest for these small investments. So I am breaking it apart now. We talked about this before. Now let me back up because I think there was some confusion and people thought that I was suggesting that we are not still doing the Black Wealth Initiative. And if you still have an interest, the Black Wealth Initiative is still moving forward. We're going to start those meetings back up. But we also talked about investment opportunities in the casino. And Riis, one of the top spots was the McCormick Place. But yesterday, the head of McCormick Place came out and said that it would be a bad thing to move the casino because they got a lot of business that still goes on the other side of the lake that we just don't know about. Which, you know what that says to me, Riis? It says that the people that gave us the shot, or the people that want to give us the shot to bid, they got a much better opportunity. Now, I am still waiting on Bally's to return my call to try and create an opportunity there as well. But very shortly, I would tell you all, get your money ready, because if you are interested, I will be presenting the small business investment opportunity within the next week. All right? Greektown. How many of y'all know? Riis, what you know about Greektown?
What you mean, like the food?
Look, man, tell me about when I say Greektown, what you think?
I just think about the food around there, like, you know.
So, there was once a time in Chicago that you would have never imagined Chicago without Maxwell Street under its former alias. And it went away. Ironically, it's just across Roosevelt where what was formerly known as Jewish Town.
Yeah, Jewtown.
I don't know if we're allowed to say that.
Oh, but that's what we used to call it.
I know. Jewish Town. There was a time when it was a thriving part of the city of Chicago. It was actually a destination. I mean, I remember coming all the way from Bolingbrook and just the sights, the sounds, the smells. I mean, I'm going to tell you, it really helped me overcome, I don't want to call it my fear of the city, but like when you grow up in the suburbs and you hear all the stories, you don't necessarily know. And and Maxwell Street was one of those places. Riis. And across the town, many of us know that Greektown, which was the home on Halsted from, I would say, Van Buren to Lake Street, was known as Greektown. They are tearing down the final buildings of Greektown. They'll just be restaurant. Really, the Greek community has moved out, and it is the epitome of the new Chicago. I mean, I just think about, like, I would have told you there was a time when Greektown was untouchable. And now even Greektown is gone. Do you think there'll ever be a time when you can't say Greek? Like, it'll be offensive?
Nah.
Okay.
All right, so Greektown is down to, they only got a couple buildings left. Man, they got a cannabis dispensary over there now, man. It's cracking. But it certainly is not Greektown anymore. Man, I remember when the Greeks controlled all that, it was restaurants, it was valets. They had everything up and down that block, and it was so much money on that block. And Riis, it is much money, but now it's all developed. Illinois, $61 million in Super Bowl bets placed, Riis. $61 million. A little bit late. Oh, I don't know if y'all saw JB Pritzker got body slammed in committee down in Springfield. Not physically, Riis. Ain't nobody picked. That's like the great Kamala. Remember when Hulk Hogan body slammed the great Kamala? Yeah, that would, like, who could body? Do you think somebody could physically body slam JB? Like, no, I mean, like, get him up. Like, who you think? You think it'd be The Rock? You think The Rock could get him up?
Like a Brock Lesnar for sure.
You think Brock Lesnar could get him up and body slam JB? What you think JB could get him on? Like, get him on the top rope? Yeah. Could you see JB? Like, you know what? I want to see a claymation celebrity death match between JB and Richard Irvin. That'd be funny. We're going to talk about that yesterday in JCAR, which is a pretty high-tech committee. 2 Democrats, 1 black, 1 from Beverly, sided with Republicans to say that they would not allow the Illinois Board of Health be the final authority on the mask mandate. Riis, that was pretty deep. Curtis Tarver voted against J.B. Pritzker, which I think is wow, on the mask mandate. They said, man, it's a court case going on. Why would we vote against it? Why you supposed to work with the branch of government, not be trying to usurp it. Russian troops pulled back. I don't know if you all have been paying attention, but I think this might be the final straw in the decision to endorse Alexei Janulius, but Anna Valencia's emails came out. There are some questions about her leveraging her office, her position with the mayor's office, and then as city clerk to get business. That's the story we should be following. Congratulations to Simone Biles and Jonathan Owens. They got engaged yesterday. It's funny. Do y'all remember Mary Lou Retton? Simone Biles is 10 bazillion times better than Mary Lou Retton was. And she is not America's sweetheart. It's like I feel like they got to kind of like, yeah, you was the best ever, but you're not white. So I just wanted to give Simone Biles a shout out. And then did you hear Ken Griffin, who gave Richard Irvin $20 million? You know what he said, Riis? He says he wants it to be more like when Daley was here. He said he wants the state to be more like when Daley was here, when he first got here. Let's talk about that. Remember what I was talking about yesterday? And speaking of Daley, it's a VERZUZ. We got a VERZUZ breaking out, a Chicago version of VERZUZ. Will the 11th Ward be known as Bridgeport, known for Bridgeport, or for Chinatown going forward? Right? There are calls for the mayor to appoint an Asian American as the alderman of what was the capital of the Daley Empire. And it'll be interesting to see what the mayor does. Look, that's all the headlines we got. We got it all in, all before 6:30. So let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Riis going to give us a little news, traffic, and weather, and then we'll be back. We'll welcome the Saints and get this thing cracking. It's the Mays Jackson Show.
The Mays Jackson Show will be back after this break.
This is my Virgin.
Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena February 25th through 27th.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion has to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, and I want. He's making me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:35 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. Head over to the Kennedy. O'Hare to the Loop is 24 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 17. On the Edens, Deerfield to the Exchange and back is 27 minutes. While on the Eisenhower is 34 minutes from Thorndale to the Loop and 27 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 33 minutes. Outbound is 31. The Bishop Ford, 34 minutes from I-355 to the Dan Ryan, 29 minutes to I-80. On the Dan Ryan, 15 minutes to the Loop, 13 minutes to 95th. DuSable Lakeshore Drive, 55th to Jackson and back will be 7 minutes, 8 minutes north. Today's weather, it is currently 46 and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 52 with a low of 39. I'm Riis the Ruler. Back to the Maze Jackson Show.
To the grave, from the grave. Glory to Gethsemane, Gethsemane, got to the grave, from the grave. Back to glory. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Come all the way with me. Don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn around. God's gonna turn around.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler, and shout out to my mans in them Church Chicago. Shout out to Pastor Terrence Keys, Terrence Daniels, and Miss Angie Mims. When you hear that, we are welcoming the Saints. If you ask me where the Saints come from, they come from WBGX 1570 AM. That's the Big Gospel Express. They come in every day from 6:30 to 8 a.m. to get them a snootful. Let me not say a snootful. That's probably not the best word. They come to get them. We gotta get our daily dose. Now the sinners, they get here a little early. They get here at 6 o'clock, and then they find themselves staying until 9 o'clock because they gotta do a little extra work. Now don't forget, at the Church of Wiftable, where you can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch every day from 6 to 9. 6:30 to 8, you can catch us on, that's right, the Big Gospel Express. You can give us a call at 872-259-7474, 872-259-7474, because it is the Maze Jackson Show. And Riis, I want you to open up the phone lines. Because I'm going to tell you, I got a lot to talk about today, so I don't know all of it that we're going to get in. Riis, I finished my last day yesterday. So in case y'all did not understand what was going on, I have been part of a state, I was part of an impaneled grand jury. Where, just like on TV, they be talking about the grand jury. I was the grand jury. I'm going to talk to you about that experience because, dear Lord, black people. I mean, it's just that, man. We're going to talk about that. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. That was an experience. I am grateful for the opportunity to serve, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Riis, I had a whole social media question of the day. If you see, I had it all written out on the paper, and y'all see right here. It's like this. Don't look at this right here. Look at this up here. So I had done the social media question of the day. And like I got home, Riis, you notice today I was done a little early. I wasn't rushing around. Everything was popped. You had the papers there. I was ready. I pushed the button.
That's how I can tell it. If I walk in the papers, they're like, oh, okay,
Right.
he already in. He good now.
So then I get to scrolling around on Facebook and YouTube, and I guess I didn't realize yesterday was I saw people talking about Music Soul Child. Why y'all be hating on Lil Goofy? That music is a little goofy to me, but that's a whole nother story. I like his songs. I like Love, So Many Things. You know, that one, that's my jam. I might have to do that for karaoke. When they take this mask mandate off, I think I'm going to kick off a karaoke joint too. Anyway, so Riis, I didn't realize that it was a versus going on, even though I had heard about the Anthony Hamilton versus Music Soul Child. Now, first of all, I don't even know why Music Soul Child would put himself in that situation. Anthony Hamilton is not the largest artist, but Anthony Hamilton, in my estimation, is he like one of them church singers that can make you just in the moment, you could just zone out. You could be like, man, because he got that Sam Cookish, like.
Are they singing against each other, or are they using their music against each other? Is it like a regular versus, like they gonna play song for song?
Yeah.
I probably do know more music songs than
Okay.
Anthony Hamilton.
Probably. Until you hear him. Because he probably got a bunch of hooks. He probably got a bunch. But I don't know, because I didn't watch it. But I would have watched it, Riis.
Oh, it was yesterday?
It was yesterday.
I didn't even know I would have watched it. I don't know who won.
Clearly from the comments that I've seen, Anthony Hamilton churched him.
Oh, I'm going to have to go check it out.
No, Riis. Because it's a little different now. It's a little different now because you can't just go watch it. It's now, Versus is now paid. You got to pay $2.99 to watch it. Why you laughing, man?
That's probably why I ain't see it. That's crazy. It started out as free. They did it for the people. It started out for the people, you know, in the pandemic. And they came in turning into, I mean, I only see, like, you know, it's $3 now, so it won't hurt your pocket. So, you know, a little $3. And that's for each time, right?
Mm-hmm. Why you laughing, Riis?
Hey, man, the thing that people are paying money for, man.
And see, and therein is why I had to change up the social media question of the day. This is what I want you to do, Riis. I want you to hit the button. Give me the voice.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
What would you pay for? It was interesting. I'm gonna tell you what made me stop, and everybody shall remain nameless, and I'm going to stop. But I felt almost like a complete jackass. And it's kind of why it's kind of why I had to stop, pause, and reassess. And I really want you to think about this as black people. So I was scrolling through Facebook this morning, and as I was scrolling, I saw Beulah's post. Then I scrolled and I saw Tennille's post, and I think it caught my attention because I think on Beulah's post, I think it was Beulah, Tennille, Doma T, and they were talking, and I was like, what the hell did I miss? That all three of them are talking, and then I scroll past Tennille, and she's like, and I just happened to see a post that she had, and then in the post, then I saw a random post that said, A Swiss, I see you. You know, I went to watch the Versus, and it's $2.99, and I see you. Then I read this headline that says, Twitter clown Versus after pay subscription model introduced. Swiss Beats walked it back. And Riis, then I was thinking about listening to you. Just now. And you were kind of like, oh, man. And it was like, it's funny because this article that I pulled up, you basically said, like, they created it during the pandemic out of desperation. Or not out of desperation, but out of all of us being in and trying to create these great opportunities. And then it actually was one of the things that helped people make it through the pandemic. And they consistently upgraded it and got it to a place where it was like a top shelf production, right? You now are at arenas doing this where people are coming in. I mean, you got the classic Jada Kiss, right? Like they was at Madison Square Garden. They've turned it into something that people essentially, they like built a brand in the black community.
For sure.
And created something that like, something. They created something that gave multiple people pleasure. And I was just thinking about what would you pay for? Because for $3, Mugs buy $3 blunt wraps. Mugs buy gold-plated wraps for $15 a piece to smoke. Here is this entity that, quite frankly, you almost couldn't even dream of this happening. Like, really, when you gonna get Monica versus Brandy sitting in a chair, right? And utilizing the new technology, because I still hate the fact that it's on Instagram and they make it in a box and it don't fit on your TV, right? But again, so I saw all of this stuff going, but Tennille's post really caught me. Some of the responses on Tennille's post really caught me because I was thinking, like, as a creator, as a creator of content, why wouldn't you support something for $3.99 or $2.99 for $3 for 2 hours of straight up entertainment? And I was thinking, I think Tennille's post caught me so off guard because I was saying to myself, like, as Tennille's point was, okay, y'all, I thoroughly enjoyed $2.99. We got $2.99. We thoroughly enjoyed it. Or it was enough where we could talk smack for, right? Like, it was 2 hours, $2.99 on a Tuesday night. It's not killing you. It's not. You're going to spend that in the aisle at the grocery store when you're checking out because you're going to pick up the gummy bears or the whatever. So it's $2.99, and here are these black people that have created this entity that they got to a point that they could finally monetize it, sell it, and do well, and provide an income stream for a lot of artists who nobody was checking for. In a time when there was no you still ain't back on the road with concerts and all of that stuff. And to watch black people be like, hell no, I won't pay $2.99. And then particularly, and I really think that's part of the reason that I did what I did. Like, if you are a content creator, eventually you want to monetize your content. Yes? So they actually have created a model, and if you couldn't see yourself supporting someone else's better version of what you hope to do, and not because you don't think there's value, you just like, hell no, I ain't paying them niggas.
Yeah, I can see it. I guess it's not a lot of money, and like you said, we do spend money on, far more less useless things. But I think it's really sometimes you know how some people are saying no to the $3 actually, but some people like dang, it was free. Like we was just watching this. We was just looking at this for free on that, and y'all basically build it off the people. So people if we didn't watch this, then y'all won't blow up. So I think people are more saying no, not to the $3, but more like, dang, this was something free, something that y'all gave us. Now you're trying to make money off of it. But that's a consumer's mind. So you have to understand that the world is filled with more consumers. So they thinking about, man, I got to pay $3 to watch this. You know what I'm saying? Blah, blah, blah. But it's more of the paying thing. It's not about the money. $3. If it was 99 cents, that they would still say something that they had been getting free.
That's exactly
free for so long, and now it's like, oh, now I gotta pay for this. It's not even. It could be a penny, and they'll still complain about it. Like, oh, I gotta pay a penny to come and watch this. Like, why I pay a penny? It was just free. Like, man, they got 2 million viewers, and they're trying to get 2 million pennies. Like, that's how people usually think.
And that's why, I'll be honest with you. Open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. And that's exactly why we don't have What's in It for the Black People media. It's exactly that. It really is. And it goes from the content creators to the content consumers. And it's like, man, Charlie, people be trying, there's a cost to operate. And a lot of times people make the sacrifice to build a dream, to be at a point where at least at some point you can break even, if not, monetize it. And I do see, man, you gave it to us free. I gave it to you free because you didn't have nothing. You couldn't go nowhere. You were stuck in the house. Now, you can start to move around. Now you're starting to replenish your income. Now you are in a place, but y'all, it wasn't free for me the whole 2 years that we was doing it. It was free to you. And I'm going to tell you, Tennille's post I promise you, Tennille, reading that post, I was like, and on that note, yeah, I don't even know if it makes sense to come back like that. Right? Because, again, the worst thing in the world to me is to do something that you are trying to do good by people, and then it turns into something where you got to apologize, for just trying to recoup what you put in. Now Dana White gonna put on the UFC, and Jake Paul gonna come in and say he fighting whoever, and they gonna send 20, and y'all spend 65. These artists haven't been moving. They haven't been. Come on, man. Anthony Hamilton is not on tour. He's not really making the. Music ain't on tour with that stuff. And I think the fact that, again, here are content creators who, in your downtime, when you ain't have nothing, when you couldn't go outside, when you couldn't see nothing, and now you on some, and now they say, hey, Joe, I done gave everything I got to y'all. I done put on some of the most epic shows at no cost, no charge. And it's like you get punished, no good deed gets unpunished. What do black people put value on? It's like y'all, I feel like in this world where nobody buys a record anymore, right? It's like, let me get your login. Well, I'm not tripping, but damn, when do we ever get ahead? And it's like, thank you for everything that you did, but not really. Because if it's free, you don't value it. What am I missing? What part don't I understand? Because again, now somebody gonna say DJ D-Nice shouldn't be able to charge more I
and sometimes black people make you pay a price for your love. I mean, you think about what Versus was during. I mean, you go back to Babyface versus, who was it? Babyface versus Teddy Riley. I mean, think about the classic epic lapses that we got. Just like the foot, like
Ron
think
Isley,
about.
Ron Isley and
Come on, Mr. Right. Come on. What? How about? I mean, Monica. Think about Monica and Brandy. And Monica show up and Brandy looking like Granny. I just think. And the whole like nope never, like why nope never? Like, and I what I find very difficult is if you do and produce, you should be the most supportive. But it's often it's like, hey, Tennille, when I saw that post, I was like, oh yeah, we not revisiting. We definitely are not revisiting the free model ever again. Cause you cannot give anything to. I don't want to say you can't give anything, but it's tough to give black people stuff. You got to charge them. You just got to charge them an outrageous amount of money for them to appreciate it. You say it's $20,000. You say that it's unattainable. People will be like, because they want to brag that they. But it goes back to that whole point of like, you gonna tear up your own crib? Like you gonna stop your own verses. Ain't nobody programming no content for you. The one thing you got to pay $3. What do you value? What will black people pay for? That black people create. Listen, white boy, y'all bet y'all buy y'all some Balenciagas. People be talking about black wealth creation. Y'all tripping over $3. You should give them the $3 cause you want to see the platform blow up and then go invest in it. Since everybody's so damn smart. But that essentially, to me.
It's the free part they started out with.
Riis, I'm saying. And the free was, and you know what the free was 100% based on? Not 100%. It probably was based on, hopefully at some point, it being monetized. But if I'm an advertiser and I'm watching y'all Negroes just kill my brand now because we put you, the advertiser's gonna see that. And the value of what those brothers built will drop. And it is, you're right, it's free. But they started it free because because you couldn't pay for it during the pandemic.
Correct.
Right. And so now, you ate it up, you ate good, you kicked it, and now you like, man.
You got to start off. You can see.
You cannot help your people.
No, I wouldn't say that. You can help them. The help is $3, but I just believe they should have even started off at $3, or a couple of them.
I read.
Because once, like I'm telling you, like once you give them free for a year, 2 years, and now you like paying, like, wait a minute, like, what you talking about? We've been doing this for free. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like, oh well, but then like I'm trying to tell you, it's more consumers. You know what I'm saying? So like now I'm thinking like that person is not thinking business wise. They just thinking like, man, this was free, and now they talking about charging. I told you it could be 1 penny. The fact
unless
that they
it was
are
crack.
charging. Well, I hope they didn't want that neither. So,
but again, I'm just saying, you cannot. This is almost like why our credit be jacked. You take it now, you know it's a payment at some point. You can pretend. Yeah, I mean, I'm just telling you that just the whole conversation behind the fact that these people ask you for $3 for 2 hours. For 2 hours. And the fact that for all of it that's happened, if you watched any of the other ones, it's almost like you petty for not paying the $3 to me. Like hold on, cuz. And if you say it's the principle, if it's the principle, then I just got to tell you, Riis, that watching the response to that and just watching how it and looking at these headlines and all that, it clearly says to me you cannot it's very difficult to do right by your people. You cannot operate with a purity of heart with the thought that it will come back to you. Not from, like, you can't. Because people will watch, they will use you. Like, I always feel like there's a certain point in any relationship, as a matter of fact, we're going through this right now, that there's got to be a point in you somewhere where you be like, damn, I'm taking full advantage of all this. Like, did anybody say, okay, did anybody ever pass the half of verses? Did anybody ever say, damn, hey, versus Merry Christmas? I appreciate it. And I just watching that response, and I'm just telling you, when I looked at Tennille's, when I saw that, I was just like, never? Like, y'all telling me y'all would never, ever consider paying all that y'all had with Versus. And because he gave it to you free, so at what point do you be like, damn, all right, well, you gave it to me free, but here, let me help you. Let me, brother, what do we do to repay? Or is it just take? And watching the response to the Versus thing, because they have millions and millions of viewers. So it really is, how much can I take until you feel the pain? Until you have to say something. I always feel like I don't never want you to have to say nothing. My premise is, hey fam, you can't possibly be doing this all. I know you ain't got no, here you go. Did you ever hit the donate button? Did anybody ever call Swiss up and say, hey, Joe, this is a big deal? Or at least say, okay, we're going to support the sponsors. Watching that and watching how black people tripped out on them, they definitely ain't going to grow their sponsorship base. We like supernovas. Blow up, I eat everything in the house, and then when the check come, be like, wait, it wasn't free? Somebody paid. You know somebody paid. Now, you might not ask, because don't ask, don't tell might be real convenient. But to read that we wouldn't support him for $3, like, where's your conscience? Like, somewhere in there, you got to feel guilty. You got to be like, damn. Dude done put on all this and all they asking for is $3. Maybe not the next one. But this time, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and hit the $3 button.
And people will. I'm just telling you just how people operate, man. Just the fact that it was, dang, it's free. Oh, man, now I got to pay. Even, I'm telling you, it could be 50 cents. They would have still said something. And to me, that is how we don't get ahead. Because we want to act like we don't know all the, like, you could take stuff out the store and never pay for it. You can. But you know it got a cost. You know it got a cost. And so even if you say, okay, I'm going to pay the cost, don't make me take a L. Be like, okay, break even. Mugs will watch you take a L and then talk about the L you took. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Man, please. Y'all trying to tell me nobody, $3.99. What will you pay for? They gonna eventually pay for it, because they gonna.
If he make it.
Nah, man, he gonna make it, man. People are gonna pay for it. It's only $3, you know, and then like based off what Tennille said, it's a different experience and stuff like that. You know how like you just said your own self, you gotta make it seem exclusive. You know what I'm saying?
You
like,
gotta try.
They'd be like, oh man, you saw Versus? No, man, you ain't seeing Versus out, man, like that $3 Versus, man. They take you backstage and you get to see interviews. So, and that's what, and like you trying to say, I guess we got to go above and beyond. But that's just so when you have something. And you know that it's not gonna pay for itself, that it gotta have something in there. I urge all my black people is don't do free. You know what I'm saying? Like when I have my event, I tell people I love you, but you know I can't do free. You know what I'm saying? Then like if I come and support you, like I'm not gonna do free. So we can't start off as free ever be. I don't care who you're trying to help out, man. Because it grows that relationship. Now you know that person could have like an idea, unless y'all talk about like, hey, well, you know, it's only gonna be free for 6 months or free for 3 months. But once a person here free and then charge, I'm telling you, it don't matter just how they brain operate. Like, dang, man, that man charging me like how when chips went up from 4 bags for $1 to, you know, 2 for $50, and now it's probably like 1 for $1. Like people complain, but eventually they kept buying it. So it'll get bought. You know, people just complain. That's what people do, complain. So,
yeah. Let me say this. I do want to thank everybody that has supported WIFTB in the past. Let me be clear with our audience. We have some great supporters. We have great stars givers, etc. And I am 100% grateful. Right? I am. I'm 1,000% grateful. But I also recognize that it's a labor of love and that we don't often meet the cost that we put out. So everything else like works to fund kind of this. I am not banging anyone, and I am grateful to everyone that supports. But I did think, especially reading that post, Neil, I got to tell you, I was like, wait, what? Not never? Not at all? And I was just thinking, like, that makes a lot of sense. And it made me say, I made a lot of sense and made a good decision. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll take a brief message. We're going to take a time for a brief message, and we'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show will be back after this break.
This is my Virgin. Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena February 25th through 27th.
You see him, my best friend. He hold me down like ankles fighting the waves. Upon to my crime, yeah, I do time. Till I'm with you, I'll be counting the days. Yeah, ooh, been through so many things, but we always get through. Yeah, ooh, it ain't always perfect, but it's worth it. This is deeper than the surface. If I said I didn't love you, you would not know I've been running. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide and make them something, like it was nothing. Ooh, some magic, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy, say, to take it easy, say, feel so weak, say, easy to love. Say, to take it easy, say, feel so weak, say, easy to love. I never thought that I would give it to you, but now I don't think it's the time, I won't do it. I think it's cause the way you talk to me, know how to say it without making me feel little. You scratches even when you pop off on me. When you get done, I got a little something to drop off on you. Because you earned it with the time you took to put it that way. You got me liking to get put in my place. I didn't love you, you and I know I've been frontin'. Wiped all my scars away like it was nothing. Took the parts of me I tried to hide to make them something, something. Like it was nothing. Ooh, something about you, baby. Ooh, you know you drive me crazy. Ooh, you give me peace of mind. Ooh, let me tell you why. You make it easy to take it easy. Feel so easy, easy to love. Easy, you make it easy to take it easy. Feel so easy to love. You make it easy. You make it easy. You make it easy.
Back to the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Riis and Ruthie and Ty explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't trying to help us, they ain't trying to do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve wrong. In the mirror, realize you great. Yeah, we always argue with our brothers, but ain't nobody gonna take our place. Just stay in tune and stay on top about who forward, about who not. Just green light all the black economy. Then watch all the shooting, don't stop. To my black people in power, just remember we put you in power. If you really wanna save all the black princesses, be Mario and not Bowser. They gave us a hard job. We gon' make it if we do it together. Divided we fall, we gotta evolve. With confidence, you are ready before you started. With no confidence in the people, we always gon' hate the people.
What's in it for me? What's in it for you? Who's telling the lies? Who's telling the truth? Black people realize the sun shines for you. So stop the divide. See what melanin do.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, in the building. Hey, we got any calls on that line? Nobody want to touch that. Right. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Let me say a couple things. I think the VERZUZ case is often symptomatic of our institutions. And I think that it's kind of you're in a conundrum. Do you buy into the fact that we don't have money and you buy into the collaboration? Right? Because for Swiss and those guys to be able... Anyway, let me just say, and I don't think it's only about no, Wiftable Media didn't try Patreon. And I don't believe that that is necessarily the issue. Do we value content, especially when we can get it for free? And do we value black content creators? As black content creators, do we value content? And as consumers of content, do we value? And when does the value come? Yeah. I think Ebony and Jet is a perfect example. Now that's lack of transformation. But I don't think black folks have the same economic mindset when it comes to black products. I just don't. Anyway, Tennille, that was shocking to me to read. It really was. But it definitely made me say I made a good decision. Not in decision to diss anybody else, but again, people will watch you jump out of the plane. They will ride the plane with you and then tell you to jump out and keep on going. Not an issue, and they'd be like, thank you, I got mine. It was good while it lasted. Now let me take what I learned and go build me my own thing where I will put my value, where I will then expect to create value. Right? I mean, you got to think about it. It's like it's a cycle. It's like, you ever seen that bracelet where it's a snake eating itself? And so it's like the snake is eating itself because, again, reciprocity is for real. And if you don't support nothing else, nothing's going to support you. It's just the way things work. You will pay for everything you do. All right, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I want to move on. Y'all ain't had no calls? Ain't nobody got no calls? Because I'm going to tell you. And let me say this. Let me just say this on Wiftable Media. Everything now isn't within my control, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not at the point in which I decide that I don't want to pay for something or do something or whatever. I have the final decision. I don't have a commitment. I'm not relying upon, right? So I don't have to be mad because something didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So I'm responsible for myself. I try to be responsible for other things, but essentially, what I wanted to do is be responsible for myself and be able to control my expenses and control my output. People don't value free. I have numerous examples of it. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Let's go to the live line. What's up? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? Caller? Hello?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Susan Nyblack.
Hey,
hi,
Susan,
Maze.
how
Hi,
are
Riis.
you?
I'm blessed. I just wanted to call in. You're right. We may not get many callers today, but the one thing I wanted to say is when I was younger, maybe in my 20s, I valued all free and probably wouldn't do certain things if it wasn't free. But as I've grown older and learned that there's a cost for everything, even if me as the consumer is not paying it, there's a production cost. There's a cost to the people who are providing the content, whether it's monetarily or their time. And so the pandemic has really caused me to reevaluate a lot of things. And it's those things that I enjoy as entertainment that's given me a peace of mind. Even if someone doesn't charge, sometimes on the live, any platform, I will give a donation. So that's just my 2 cents.
Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. I think, and I think here at the Maze Jackson Show, we do get quite a bit of that. When I put the call out, but sometimes it's like, you don't necessarily want to put the call out. You want to be like, now and I know. It's like you get in the car and I don't ever ask you for gas money. And you drive all the way to, and I never get out the car and be like, I just get out. And you say, well, you just did it. You never asked. Like sometimes you be like, really, do I really have to ask? Like, really, you gonna make me ask you? We riding this together. You see all of this. You know what you got to do if it ain't this. And I got to ask you? No, I don't want to ask you. I want to see how long you going to ride it till the wheels fall off. You ain't going to change the oil, never? Never. We not going to never ask about do we need an oil change? Never. When the car break down, then everybody be like, well, what we going to do? And then you know what? People stick their thumb out. They hitchhike and you got your car that you got to tow it all the way back. Everybody else like, man, what you going to do about your car? It's the Mace Jackson Show. Riis, we got to call you on the Mace Jackson Show. What do black people value? What will you pay for?
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Good morning, man. It is Janessa.
I thought it was what your name is. Go ahead.
It's whatever you want it to be. But anyway, I have been talking to, don't do me like that, baby. Now, I had been talking to Neil before about y'all getting a Patreon, and hopefully that can help support something. But anyway, as far as what people will pay for, people don't want to pay for anything, to be honest. But it's, especially when it comes down to small black businesses, you know what I'm saying? Like, we ride the wave. And that's what I've noticed, like, in my business. We ride the wave. When Dove makes black people mad, that's when everybody wants some of Janessa soap, which is totally fine. You know what I mean? But I've created, so far, a really good base of clientele. Like, Susan is one of my biggest customers. And you just have to show people what it is. Even if you get tired of creating content, if you get tired of posting constantly, or figuring out when to post, people just don't get it. That's not in business. And then it's just like once you sit down and have a conversation with them, that's what makes them say, oh, okay. Like literally 2 weeks ago, my family just figured out everything that I know how to do. My own family just figured out what I know how to do. And that's a lot. Now they rocking with me. But it took them how long to rock with me? You just have to keep rocking until people start rocking with you. But I'm always rock with you. You say $5, $10, I'm going to say whatever you need. I love you, man.
I love you back, and I love my jacket. Y'all see my camouflage? That is Janessa, what your name is, 16,000 different profiles. Also, she is the wife of Ness, Loch Ness Monster. Terrorism. I be trying to figure out who run that house. Who you think run their house? Janessa.
He gonna say it too. That's the only.
He gonna say it right. He gonna say it
right answer.
Right. Yeah, man. I don't. So let me say I'm grateful to every single person that contributes. And I don't even want to, but I gotta tell y'all, it's just hard for me in life to not offer. Let me tell you no, but you gotta offer. You gotta say, damn, this couldn't possibly, right? And for me, I'm probably never gonna ask. Now, after 6 months, it's gonna start being like, dang, if everything perfect when I come in, it's gonna be good. But if it ain't, I'm gonna be like, dang, cuz.
You gotta stop expecting people to treat you how you
treat people.
And
guess what? That's exactly it. And so my thing is, you know what? I'll be right up in that's my desk at 9:00. Right there. And I ain't gotta worry about it. You don't have to, it's like you don't have to take on the beat down. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Go ahead, caller. Caller?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, yes. My name is Robert. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I just had to call in on this topic. You know what I would pay for, brother? I would pay for you. I've been following you for the past 5, 6 years, however long you've been doing this, since you was on the other station, guest spotting with Matt McGill. I would pay for you. And ever since you started this program with your own, I've been wanting to donate. And I felt so bad for the first maybe 10, 11 months that I couldn't donate because I saw what you were doing. And it's like, man, it's just crazy to me. And so I definitely support you, and I would definitely pay for you. And I think part of our problem is trained Negro syndrome. We don't like business, we don't like planning, and we don't like caring for black folks. That's the way white folks is trained. That's all I got to say. I'm out.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And can I be clear that I want to say thank you? Like, there's a certain something that comes with the 300 plus people that wake up every morning to rock with us. So I don't undervalue that at all. I want to make sure that you are clear, and there is a certain level of personal satisfaction and payment that I get from being able to do this. I don't ever want anyone to think that I have regrets about what the Maze Jackson Show does. And I don't even want you to think I have regrets about anything that we've done at Maze Jackson, at Wiftable Media, etc. But I got to tell you, I felt Swiss. And reading the comments, I got to tell you, I felt very stupid. Not stupid, but like, fam, that's what ideally we'd like to be. Like, ideally, the goal is that every show that we had here would be something that would be worthy of people paying money for eventually. Right? It's the reason that we created the set. It's the reason that now you might not like the set, right? But it's the reason that we pay for the high quality microphones. It's the reason we built the studio. It's the reason right? So that someday somebody you hope would be like, damn, there is some value in what they do. And I'm willing to pay for it. Now, I didn't want it to be Mr. Drummond. I wanted it to be a place where black people could say what they wanted to say without ever having to worry about being shut down and be Whoopi Goldberg. But that only comes when the people have your back. And not your way back, but your physical, literal back. Now, I could take responsibility for myself, but I think about Swiss. Swiss was probably thinking hey, man, I got this thing. I'm straight, but I want to help these artists that don't got no money, that ain't touring no more, man, you ain't heard from 3-6 Mafia. Who paying for 3-6 Mafia? Well, now they are. Devin and Boosie would. But you see what I'm saying? Creating a marketplace where all of these people can go off and go start their own thing and go on tour, and there's no value in that. Again, I don't think everything that we did started, but I do think we provided people space and consistency to go out.
See, you see how you thinking. You see how you thinking broad. I see how you think in all these other examples. Everybody's brain ain't wired that way. So when he asked them for $3, they only thought about their $3. They didn't think about feeding the artist. They didn't think about feeding Swiss. They didn't think about saying, well, we can keep going on IG and giving IG 2 million followers, or we can actually get money to Swiss. Like if we gonna already, could keep playing like who owns IG. Ain't that Mark Zuckerberg too? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we can keep playing him, while he's saying, hey, man, we got hip-hop on here, but if you play it, we going to ban you anyway. Like you can't play it, but we going to, bring these people in there, eat off them. And then when Swiss say, hey, man, you know what, since they feeding us black people, you know what I'm saying, support us. You know what I'm saying, support me, support VERZUZ. You supporting IG. Support this $3 for VERZUZ. But they didn't hear that. All they heard was free 3. What you talking about? It was just free. Now it's 3. Oh man, you ain't getting my $3 that they didn't think about, man. When the last time Anthony Hamilton did something? When the last time?
How about they didn't think about how? But let's take.
Where has music been?
Forget them. How about they didn't think? Damn, I've been watching these free ass concerts for the last 2 years that I done kicked it for whatever. Dang, dude asked me for $3, and I got a beef with that. I understand that ain't how they brains wired, but I'm saying so like. Kill all the people who brains are wired, like, let me help my people. Like, a certain point, it just gets old. It's like, man, I'm not saying you burn the people out. That would again, you know what? I'm not going to argue. I'm tapped out.
That's what you don't do. And that's what you don't do when you set your prices. You just set it, and you leave it. And they got 2 options. You can either come or you just watch the last VERZUZ you ever seen for free. And that's really it, So it's either by hook or crook. I don't care if you're going to come on it or you're going to have to ask somebody for theirs. Still, you're going to have to find a way to get to this, but it's no longer free. I don't care what.
But VERZUZ could at the same time go out of business.
It could.
And then what will happen is Mark Zuckerberg will take his $26 billion and go pay all those artists individually and say, I'm going to do my own VERZUZ. And all the artists will be like, oh, I'm the smartest thing since sliced bread because now I'm over here taking a check because I got a deal from Mark Zuckerberg when I had equity in all of the VERZUZs. So that $3.99 that you like, hell no, I'm not paying, they splitting that up amongst the artists. He cut the artists in on the deal that he cut with Triller. And so here's this bit. This nigga think he gonna get $3.99 out of me.
3. That's what he said this Soulja Boy for. 3.
And so again, and then Negroes will be walking around talking about we ain't got our own. And then you'll have somebody like Junior be like, and you only got 300 people, so you really ain't talking to black people for real. I seen that yesterday, Junior. Anyway, that Tennille post really blew Tennille. That I like reading that. That just blew me. I was like, hold on, cuz. Y'all mean to tell me the debate is $3? Like, can I tell you, it used to be a time when we'd be like, hey man, take the $3 just cuz. Just cuz. Just cuz. If I, like, you that petty over $3?
Man, I didn't watch about 15 VERZUZ that came on every month. It was, probably, I didn't watch the oldie. Now
and you watch 15 VERZUZ and you in your mind don't say, damn, why do they feel like they need to charge me $3 after they done spent $3 billion putting it on? And I'm not saying they spend $3 billion. But like, again, if our mentality with us is to take. It is to take. The black mentality, if you are a giver, black people will take. And they will take with an attitude. And then come back and be like, they don't even be like, man, like, they don't place no value on your joint. Dog, I'd be like, imagine, let's just say it's $50 an hour. Let's just say it's $50 an hour. Let's say it's $25 an hour. What's your tab? What's your tab? And I said I need $3 out you, and you like, this dude just asked me $3? I need $50 out you to support where you eat and sleep and kick it every day. Swiss don't need to do no verses. He don't. He can get on his plane and go do the next Guns N' Roses album and be straight. Now, who you think benefited from versus more? 3 6 Mafia or Swiss? Jadakiss or Swiss? Hell, the Diplomats or Swiss? These dudes ain't got no tour, no nothing. Fam, you think Jadakiss go on tour and be like, and then be the main one talk about, man, versus whack. Wait, what? Nigga, the reason that we care about you again is because of verses. Yeah, you was Jadakiss over there. It's cute. You had Hot John Blaze stuff. But verses brought you back to the universe. Put you on a grand stage. Gave you the opportunity to make. But y'all be up at that, man. What will you pay for? What content is good enough for you to pay for? You'll pay for it through Netflix, though. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We take a quick break. We'll be back.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena February 25th through 27th.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 7:36 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report as we head on to the Kennedy O'Hare to the Loop. Will be 48 minutes. Outbound will be 25. On the Edens inbound, we have 49 minutes. Outbound is at 30. On the Eisenhower from I-355 from I-290 to Thorndale will be an hour and a half. Outbound will be 34 minutes. On the Dan Ryan is 20 minutes to 95th, 13 minutes to the Loop. Head on over to the Stevenson. Inbound from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 56 minutes. Outbound will be 32. The Bishop Ford will be inbound 1 hour. Outbound will be 42 minutes. While on Lakeshore Drive, we have 7 minutes south, 8 minutes north. Today's weather, it is currently 46 degrees and partly cloudy. Today will be a high of 52 with a low of 42. I'm Riis the Ruler, and here's Valerie here on The Mace Jackson Show.
Did you have to go to jail? Put your house on up for sale. Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you find the right man who'll fix it for you. And while you're shopping anywhere, change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you've been dodging all the time? Are you still dizzy? Since I've come home,
well, my body's been a mess, and I miss your tender hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Oh, stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over there? Valerie, you are listening to the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis the Ruler. Salim, that was the sweet harmonies of Valerie. You did that, Salim. All right, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Don't be mad, y'all bleed Negroes out. You do. You will wring the black love and support straight up out of mud. To where they be like, I don't even want to play no more. You'll wring it out of them.
We always looking for the hookup, man.
I mean, and I you know what? Here go my challenge. realistically, there's not a lot you can hook me up with. Really. It's just not. And I really wish that I did not have such a love for our people, because I would have been gone on y'all. Again, I just want to point out that I did not sign the casino paperwork until I got something for y'all. Now watch. Niggas gonna be like, hey man, how much you, right? Like, again, without even putting everybody on blast, let me just be clear. And you would say, don't say nothing about that. You don't want, but the reality is, like, everybody think that it ain't no sacrifice, and when you don't talk about it, they just be like, oh, he wanted to do everything for me for free. He didn't want no money. He didn't want to get paid. He's just a, what, sucker? Because eventually at a certain point when you taking something from somebody for free, when do they become a sucker? How long, like in the gas, if you riding in a cross-country trip, how many states do you, so you got to cross, let's say you driving through all 50 states. Y'all both agree. Y'all both need to get to California, but y'all gotta go to all 50 states, and it's both what? And yeah, I'm going that way. So how many states do you touch before you say, hey man, do you need some on the gas? How many times you think people would ride there the whole way and never ask? And at the point in which you don't ask, at what point do you be like, this sucker? Do you then say, man, how far can I get without?
Yes. Everybody is almost human nature, man.
That is not the humans I want to be around.
You know, like,
Riis, I can't even imagine that.
Some people,
Riis,
like,
he
was already going that way anyway.
Riis,
you know?
I couldn't imagine that. I could not imagine not carrying my weight. I could never imagine getting in a car. Now, if I didn't have it, and I was like, man, but I would be like, what do I need to do? Do I need to drive? I'll drive the whole way. You put in the gas, I'll drive. That's a fair trade. But if you can fathom, you could go 50 miles, you could go to 50 states. How do you get out of the car? How do you, like, at the end of the trip?
With your arm stretched.
That's so crazy, man.
You get out the car with your arm stretched and say, oh, my back hurt, man. I'm so glad to be out the car. Like, amazed. That's how they gonna get out the car. Like, oh, man, you good? And then they gonna ask them, are you good? You good? Okay.
And I'll be like,
right.
And I'm never gonna see, and I will never, ever, ever speak to your ass again. Ever. Ever. I will be like, man, I like probably in state number 35. Like, I'm like probably in the first 10 states, I'm like, dad.
See, I was just going to say, now you done win 35 states, there's only 15 left. Here go back, pay. We done did, it's only 15 left. But you know what I'm saying?
And I would be like, and I would make sure we hit all 15, and I would deliver you to your door, and I would never, ever, ever, in good conscience, ever speak to you again. And it's like, if you have 0 credits in the bank, like if you have put nothing on anything, like you don't get to talk. Like, really. There's money to be exchanged, you don't get a vote. And Negroes who don't pay nothing got something to say too. Got something to say. How they want it. I
want it, yeah.
Man, I like my burgers. Dog, you want burgers?
Pan, I want the steak. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
You know, I'm
and I would like the dry age, please.
What you getting?
Hey man, I'm telling you. Like, real talk. Like, people be like, I didn't even know. Oh, you knew. You just pretended. You just hoped I didn't say nothing until you got to state number 50. That is That, like, I gotta be honest with you, that's unfathomable to me. Like, I wouldn't, like, can I tell you, I would never, ever want to be viewed as a taker or a freeloader, right? Like, I would never want somebody to be like, man, he ain't, and it's not because I care what people think, but it's the type of integrity that I have. Like, yeah. Anyway, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'll take your call because I 50 states, like, y'all, like, I can't even imagine. Like, I would be out the car at the first time. Like, here go half. You would look in your glove compartment. If you wouldn't take my money, you would see I got out the car and the money would be in your bag. Go to the calls. Y'all, man, black. Ooh. Go to the call. Call you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Hey, good morning, Mace.
What up?
What's on, bro?
This who?
Hey, man, it's James.
Oh, what up, James?
Hey, check it out, man. A couple of things. First of all, this VERZUZ thing, I kind of got this morning I kind of started reading about it. And what I want to know is they sold it to a company called Trill. Is that my understanding?
Yep. They sold it to Triller.
Okay, who is Triller?
Probably a large white conglomerate that gave them shares and cash. And the cash they split with the people and they still got an ownership stake. Yep, sure did.
Okay, and you know, like what Riis said in the beginning. You know, sometimes you can't come out the gate and just give free, because when you think about social media outlets and all of these outlets, it's so much content out there that's free. It's so much distress, so much to choose from, and to just say, I honestly think eventually people are going to come around and start to support it, but not to the magnitude that it was when it was free. And I think a lot of people got the concept that you know, because it was free, they thought that advertisement saw numbers, and that's how it was being put on by advertisers because of the numbers that they were pulling. That's what I thought. That's how it was put together. Because, you know, it's just like if you got a IG page, you got a lot of people who's getting paid just by shaking their booty on IG because of the followers they have. Then you have advertisements who come in.
Let me back you up real quick, James. I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
I think a couple things. I think
I'm trying to understand. That's what I thought.
So let me back up. Y'all, you are advertisers value you. Put yourself on mute because I can hear your background.
Okay.
We're not gonna hang up on you. Just put on mute.
Go ahead.
Advertisers, let's say that each view you get is 1/100th of 1 penny. So for 2 million, you get $20,000. 2 million viewers, you get $20,000. Now you just all those artists that you pay for, they cost to bring to town. They cost to put in flights. They cost to have an airplane. I mean, these things grew. They stopped being Instagram. I'm over at the room and you in my room and I'm putting my phone up to full on concerts. Right now. So now you got the production cost. You got the cost of all the artists. You got the cost of now the actual production. You got stagehands. You got all of this. And people like, oh, you made money off. You get 1/100th of a penny off of every view.
Right. So I never knew how that worked, but I thought that's what it was.
But again, I got you. And I'm saying, but that's the whole thing of I don't really want to know how much it costs. Because then if I know the real cost, then I got a different obligation, right? It's different than a chick shaking her booty on Instagram in her room. This is a full-on production concert that they have tried to increase the production quality every time to give you a true production, right? And
eventually, I think people are going to come around.
I mean, you got to make it to coming around. And look, let me just tell you, see how we was counting this money? Because the next thing we was going to say is, well, they sold it to Triller. Well, guess what? Because how many times can you put on two of the greatest artists of the world or two of the greatest artists of their era for free? Because everybody black think you getting $2 million, you getting paid off of every artist, off of every view. So now you got to figure out how do I monetize it and how do I take this thing? Because really, I just do concerts. I don't do social media. I don't have a back-end platform. I just put people together. And now I've put people together and made this entity that gets millions of streams that somebody wants to pay. And I say, give me cash. Because he didn't ask the artist to pay for free, to play for free. Give me cash and give me shares, of which I'm sharing with these artists who some of don't have a back end. So I did a 360 wraparound program.
Maze.
Go ahead.
Right. So how does that work? Okay, the $3.99 is this annually, weekly, yearly, what? Or you pay per verse? See, if I want to watch a certain verse, I download it and I pay that $3.99. Is that how that works?
I don't know exactly, but let me say, yesterday you probably have a subscription or a per option, right? Like that's probably just like everybody else. I don't want to get into that because I don't want to start making up stuff. But what I am saying is, like we want to pretend like everything is free because that makes our conscience feel good. I don't want to know the cost. I don't really want to know what you make. I want to be able to use. You got 2 million people. You should be happy with the 2 million people. Well, again, look at all of these artists that get these billions of streams, and they talking about I get 1/10 of 1 penny per stream.
Mm-hmm.
So again,
okay, Nate. Now back to you. I get that concept. Now I want to focus on you right now. Okay, and you made the scenario about driving all these people around and knowing that your car costs it takes gas, but nobody's offering gas money. Maze, you know that an old saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. You know why the preacher's pockets are always full every Sunday? Because they open their mouth. Maze, open your mouth.
Hey.
Because,
hold on.
Maze. No, this is what I'm saying, Maze. Because a lot of people like that's driving in your car probably don't have that mentality. They just feel like they're getting it right. Of course, you think they should, but you gotta judge each person individually. If you knew me as a person, and I knew, oh man, let me break my boy off some. This is my boy. I'm going to take care of you. But if you driving 300 people and only 100 people is giving you gas money, you got to open your mouth. Just like with this radio station. Look, let's do this subscription drive. Yes, because the people will pay for what you're feeding them, May. I know I will. And I think your listeners will too. It's all right to ask. It's all right to ask because we understand the concept and we understand that the information you're giving us, and it's obvious it's worth it for the 300-400 people that you're giving it to, and I want to keep getting it. So just like when you had that subscription drive, I'm Johnny on the spot. I don't have a lot of money, May. I don't have a lot of money, but I could give you something. And I will give you something. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks like this. So don't feel like, oh, I don't want to have to ask. Yes, Maze, ask. Because everybody don't think like you think. And I guarantee you, if you ask, they will give. Because I know I will.
And James, let me say thank you.
Bro.
Let me say thank you. Thank you. What I'm also tell you, though, is, hold on. I just decided I wasn't gonna drive as many people around. Like I'm not gonna ask. I mean, I'm gonna do my little thing here, but I'm not gonna ask. I'm not gonna ask you to support my mission of black people to be free. Now, you decide and we may do a subscription drive or whatever, but I just don't have to carry you. I can be responsible for myself. Right? But I'm talking about like, man, when you trying to put everybody in the car because you want everybody to go, everybody can't go. Some days you just got to be comfortable riding by yourself. And then when you realize that people was like, man, I ain't need your stinking ass car no way. It'd be cool. I just wish I would have known when you was driving. It's the Maze Jackson Show. While you was riding, not driving. It's the Maze Jackson Show. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What you got for me?
Yo, what up, family, man? What's cracking, bro?
What up, Dr. Devin? Hey, man, stop trolling my bears, dog.
Yo.
I'm about tired of you with that, but go ahead.
Hey, man, I'm gonna be serious, bro. Like, and I think James basically stole my thunder, dog. Like, I know that you don't want to ask. I feel you, but you know, like, man, one thing I noticed, I'll take it back like this. One thing that I noticed when we did the 34 Black People First Party, the surprise on your face when it all worked out. And I saw that look when you saw it, and that made me feel like, hey, man, like, we came through. Like, we came through. So, you know, hey, bro, like, the people gonna come through for you, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we don't know all of what be going on, and 99.999% of the time, hey, that ain't our business and all of that. But if it's anything that's weighing you down, bro, just throw the bat signal up, man, so the people can rally around you. And you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, see, the thing and the thing that people misconceive about you is they may not like you, but you ain't never lied, bro. So you ain't no liar. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may not like the packaging and how you present it, but that's a personal thing on them. But you ain't never lied. And when it come out to be the truth, then they be like, man, you know, well, you know, now people ain't got nothing to say, and I'm going to clean that up because, you know, the Saints still on the line. But, man, like, just let the people rally around you, bro, because we got to protect the vision. You know what I'm saying? You're the vessel of the vision right now. You know what I'm saying? So you encourage and you groom leaders, and you have a transactional leadership style that's also transformational too. And that has value. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, in Memphis, where 3-6 from, you got to pay what you weigh, man. You pay what you weigh, bro. and that's all I got to say. Hey, and 3-6 been making hits for 30 years now, so they ain't fall off. And you know, they you know, that's just not for y'all because y'all was up here shiny suiting, dancing like Missy and listening to Jay-Z. But that's a whole nother conversation. Hey, you got John Blaze, son. You got John Blaze.
Hey, I said I wasn't gonna be petty, man. Let's stop that.
Hey, and Sharon Ugochi ran over the beanbag board, bro.
She made fun. She said, I ran over y'all toy. How much I owe? I messed up y'all little toy. Don't be making fun of us, Sharon. We like bags, and I was whooping Devin and DJ. So don't be making fun of us. We like
I don't know, bro. We need a rematch, man. But you know, just hey, man, we gotta support the people that look out for us, and you know, I think whatever that is. But you know, it's a lot of ways that people can support, and you know, man, don't be afraid. And I know you're not, but you know, just let the people rally around you, and I think you will be surprised on who actually rocking with you, bro.
Hey, man,
so
I appreciate that.
Just stay prayed up, man.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. All right, that's my man Devin. He is the president of the vice president of WIFTABA and on the executive board at the 34th Black People First Party. Riis, you said we got another call. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show. What's up?
Hello, this is Kahimba Young. I just had to call in, my brother. Listen to the conversation. Just let the people know. Those that know who you are, they already know. But I got to spit my testimony. My kids were in 6th and 7th grade. No reason. This is when Maze was on the other show. No reason for him to let them on the air at all. I emailed them, told them what they were doing. He said, bring them in. My son, 6th and 7th grade, on the air, selling wristbands. No reason to let them on at all. Gave them a shot. Then went far enough to say, okay, well, why don't we continue this? And they started developing the What's in it for the Black People wristbands. You know what? You don't really know what that does for a child when they hear something so much. Well, they had to listen to it because they were in the car with their father. So when they actually got a chance to be on the show and participate in that and get that opportunity, it opened their world up. Grades shot through the roof, straight A students all the way through. My oldest son is in college now. My youngest, his brother's a junior. They are, but they all their mind is on business and opportunities because somebody gave them a shot, and that somebody was Maze Jack. He didn't have to do that. Gave that opportunity. So anywhere, everywhere we can support, we're going to do so. And they make an excellent point. in order for us to win as black folk, we have to support our own. There's no getting around it. If we don't support our own and help them build, what are we going to have? Then we complain about what we don't have. No, it's an opportunity for us to win with us, for us. So I had to call and say that, man. I appreciate what you did for my children. I'll never forget you for that. Anything I can ever do, when I can do it, I will do it. Because you gave my sons an opportunity when you didn't have to.
Hey, man, first of all, thank you, Tim. And I appreciate you, and I love them boys. We still sell their stuff. You should bring them up. Oh, well, they a little young, so don't bring them to TP. But I was going to tell you that their wristbands are on sale. They are also all over the country. Man, I would tell you, I should start taking pictures of the people who take these from me, because I wear. If you were on the show right now, you can see I wear them every day, and I usually find myself having to replenish this wrist, because people are like, "Where you get that from? Where you get that from?" And I say, "Here, take it." And then they take it and then they wear it with pride. And I'm super proud of the boys. And man, let me know, man, we gotta get them to come back up here. You know, we got a new studio, so they can come on back, shine their wares, and tell us all the great stuff that is going on. And brother, I appreciate you for always being supportive and always that random text that pops up that tells me that you still tuned in and checking for us. So I appreciate you. And thank you very much. Look, I got to say goodbye to the Saints because it is almost 8 o'clock. You know, the Saints from WBGX, y'all still can rock with us. But I know y'all turn off and tune off on air at 8 o'clock on WBGX, the Big Gospel Express. But you can still catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Also, give us a call, 872-259-7474. I felt that Tennille post in my soul about support. I was thinking about Swiss Beats. I was thinking about DJ D Nice. Y'all remember when we first saw the first DJ D Nice? And it was like communal, and it was like we was all stuck in the house and we couldn't go nowhere, and it was just like that. And then I just think about that Babyface, the Babyface Teddy Riley, which was like classical comedy, right? Because you got these two epic producers, and Babyface was stunned, and it blew up into this thing. And it's almost like it was a new form of entertainment that was created that's going to suck, that black people can't monetize because we going to kill it, and then some white boy going to come back and redo it and then give it back to you and repackage it to you. And you're going to be going to the VERZUZ live tour.
With a blackface going to be hosting.
Right, hosting it.
Going to be hosting. Nick Cannon hosting.
Right, Nick Cannon hosting the VERZUZ live tour. Mm-hmm. Then y'all going to be crying. I just got through asking you, what do we control? Right? Remember the other day I said, what do we control? Sports and entertainment. So here's an entity that is in its birth that we control from the rooter to the tutor, and black people decided, and Nick said he want $3. Man, you better get up out of here.
$3.
$3.
Then went straight to the store and spent $7 on some stuff that they don't even need no more.
Mm-hmm. It's the Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after these messages.
Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Get your savings coupon from participating Great Clip salons and save 20% on select tickets. See savings coupon for restrictions and details. Coming to Allstate Arena February 25th through 27th.
Today, the Biden administration is releasing what it calls a new strategy to fight domestic terrorism. Following a 100-day review, federal officials are now laying out a new plan hoping to deter, detect, and prosecute domestic terror.
They went to the Capitol waving their flags and looking for smoke. He was out there looking for justice. They was over there looking for votes. Ashley Babbitt was with him and told all the people that nothing could stop us. She climbed through the Capitol window, breached security, and called a shot, bro. The media say she a veteran. They paint the picture to make her look greater, but she disrespected the same country that she served. That makes her a traitor. They was fighting police, resisting arrest. On God, I couldn't believe it. I guess blue lives only tend to really matter when it's convenient. Hey, These are the times we witness in history, all because they didn't get a victory. United States is so contradictory. We get equal rights, that's a mystery. Politicians, they more like magicians, you know they got tricks up their sleeve. We point out the flaws that's up in this country, you know they gon' tell us to leave. Somebody try to help me understand it. Always seems like a double standard. They be out here leaving us empty-handed. To certain rights, we are not granted. The media is the culprit when it comes to the comparison. Cause when it comes to race, they always changing up the narrative. Terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. And that's on the real. You know what we know, I say it's terrorism. They say you a patriot, call you a hero. I call it terrorism. We still out here trying to get our reparations, but the government pump faking out here hesitating. I'm out here trying to keep my peace, so I keep meditating. The media make us look bad, they taint our reputation. Look, it's so sad that COVID causing toe tags. You claim you so patriotic, but you ain't wearing no mask. You out here wildin' with your MAGA flags and showing your ass. You wanna be part of some type of revolution so bad. Look, you talk revolution and constitutional rights only. I guess we forgot about back in the days when all of the business was whites only. Yeah. George Floyd got justice. Juneteenth got much respect. They made it a national holiday. Man, it's all good, but cut the check. They giving out all of these vaccines, putting it in you like caffeine. Was it all in the part of the plan? I bet money like DraftKings. It's land of the free, home of the brave. 1776, we wasn't free till 1865, so we wasn't part of that shit. And that there's terrorism. Terrorism.
Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism. Terrorism.
You are listening to the most dangerous show in the morning. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Todd Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happening in town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you can put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. So many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Lenders give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And up the seal carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this is a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago. Wake up, world. This is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler, in the building, and it's 8 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock. Well, it's a little past 8 o'clock. It's actually 8:09. It's 8:09. Okay, I'm through. Riis, anybody on the live line? We done? Okay. I skipped over. So I want to ask this question. Now that Patrick Daley Thompson is no longer the alderman of Bridgeport, excuse me. Listen to me, I said the alderman of Bridgeport, of the 11th Ward, which since I've been alive has been synonymous with as the home base of the Daley empire. For almost all of my life, the 11th Ward has been untouchable. Right? Like the 11th Ward, the 13th Ward, like the homes of the 14th Ward, like the Irish Kingpins wards were always untouchable. Riis, but it looks like we're going into our own Chicago version of VERZUZ. Political style. It is Bridgeport will the 11th Ward be known as Bridgeport or Chinatown? And I know that sounds funny. You'll be asking yourself, Mace, the 11th Ward is Bridgeport and Chinatown. But the reality is the 11th Ward, Chinatown is kind of like an afterthought. Because when you think of the 11th Ward, you think of it being kind of the centerpiece, the bastion, the home of the original Mayor Daley, the base of which the support and through which all of the Green Team leadership ran through. And now, Riis, they are suggesting that with Patrick Daley Thompson out, there were already calls to create the first Asian American ward. But because of where the Daleys ranked, it was almost blasphemy to suggest that ward be made Asian. Now, Riis, what they did do was replace the former state rep, who was, because that area used to be, the 11th Ward used to be primarily Latino and white. It emerged as white and Asian. As a matter of fact, the largest and the only growing Chinatown in the country is right here in Chicago. I don't know if you all paid attention, but remember when we were going through the big old fight over National Teachers Academy, and they were trying to turn National Teachers Academy, take it away from the black kids, and turn it into an Asian high school? Because the Asian community did not want their children to go to, what's the school on 55th? Was it Harper? Harlan? What's on 55th? Whatever it is. That school. Well, now Mayor Lori Lightfoot has 60 days to determine who's going to go in the spot. And Riis, she's in a conundrum. Want to know why she's in a conundrum? She's in a conundrum because, remember, she's based her whole campaign on equity, right? Equity and inclusion. And she has the opportunity to create history by nominating the first Asian American alderman. Now that would run in the face of what some are asking her to do, which is to appoint someone in the 11th Ward who's already part of the 11th Ward organization so that there will not be a drop-off in service. You see what I'm saying? So basically, there's two thoughts. Do we continue the Daley legacy and dynasty and let them pick their successor? Or does the mayor decide that she is going to break with that tradition and appoint an Asian American alderman in that space? Now, the best thing to do would be is if Alderman Thompson had an Asian American working in his office that he could appoint. Now, because they're more than likely not to win if the mayor... So, Riis, if they appoint an Asian American alderman, then they're going to probably do everything that they possibly can to ensure that that alderman wins and stays. So what the smart move for the 11th ward would be to say, hey, guys, why don't we appoint an interim alderman who promises not to run so that they can get their ducks in a row and run a candidate? Because if Mayor Lightfoot picks an Asian American to go there, well, guess what's going to happen? For the next 2 years, the Asian American is going to be building relationships and rapport. And have the benefit, you know what they call the benefit of incumbency. I.e., he'll be able to take credit for all of the new projects, all of the groundbreakings, everything that happens. So my question is, who do you think has the juice? Who do you think the mayor will pick? Will she pick an Asian American? And then my other question is, because I don't know if you all saw, Alderman Gilbert Villegas said that the chairman of the Latino caucus said that that spot should not go to the Dailies, but should go to an Asian American. Now, what I see is Alderman Gilbert Villegas trying to force the issue, but then to build an alliance with the Asians over immigration. Because the largest growth in Illinois or in Chicago came from the Asian community that had a 40% growth spurt. So what Alderman Villegas is doing is trying to build a liaison, build a relationship for the future. Riis is kind of weird because I think that the Black Caucus is tied to the past. So Alderman Irvin suggested that it should be somebody who's really ready to go right now, who will not allow the residents of the 11th ward to have a drop-off in service, which sounds like he's leaning towards trying to support the 11th ward pick. Riis, where do we fit in this? Should they give the 11th ward to the Asian community, or should they continue the relationship with the Irish community? Now, remember, the 11th ward is also comprised of Bridgeport, Canaryville, and Chinatown. Now, you know, when I think of Bridgeport, you know what I think of all the time still to this day? Leonard Clark. Do you remember that story? The 7th grader who was riding his bike through Bridgeport and the guys ran out and beat him down because he wasn't supposed to be over there. It was like, and they got away with it. You know, everybody repented. But my question is, what and then here's the other part. What does Mayor Lightfoot do? Because Mayor Lightfoot is a daily creation. So is she going to be loyal to the past and probably going to be asking them to help her get reelected? Or does she side with the Asian community? Now, can I point something else out to y'all real quick? Can I point something out to y'all real quick? Mayor Lightfoot came from the Dailies. Some say that she still gets advice and counsel, and probably the only reason that she is probably one of the very few last friends or at least associations that she has. I got to point out to you, though, that if they give away the 11th ward, it essentially would wipe the Dailies off of the political map. with the exception of John Daly, who's the chairman of the finance committee in the county board. But then my question becomes, does he still get to keep that spot? Or is it at that point that he has to concede it and a black person takes over finance, or will it be a Latino? See, guys, remember when I was telling you that the world is coming down around us as we speak? The political world is changing as we speak. The Holy Triumvirate, the power sharing agreements, everything that we had in the past is now off the table. It is truly now a free-for-all. But Riis, do we believe that if an Asian American alderman comes to city council that they will align with black people? Or will they call themselves immigrants? Now, let me take this to another level. The Asian community was the fastest growing population in Chicago over the last 10 years. Why, Riis? Because of immigration. So, quite frankly, they have the same issue as the Latinos. So, remember my question about should we allow undocumented immigrants to vote in municipal elections? Guess who else that counts for? Chinatown, which accounts for 40% of the growth, had a 40% growth rate. So now, think about where does that play in our future? So now if the mayor appoints an Asian undocumented Asian American in that 11th ward spot, it is almost virtually a signal that she would be leaning towards supporting the rights of undocumented immigrants to vote in a municipal election. And we know that that alderman will. And we also know that Gilbert Villegas wants that, because then that tips the balance of power to who? To the Latinos. Because the Latinos won't be loyal to her. If there was a Latino candidate, they would not be loyal to Mayor Lightfoot no matter what she did. And we already know what it's like for blacks with the Asians. They would kill us in our sleep if they could. But do y'all see how this dynamic is unfolding right now? So what, in a battle of verses, what's it going to be? The Chicago versus, is it Bridgeport or is it Chinatown? It's kind of like pick your poison. And now my question is, who would do better by black folks? Do we want Bridgeport or do we want Chinatown? I was just thinking about the rally at the University of Chicago. Y'all remember that rally they had a couple months ago at University of Chicago after the student got jacked, the Asian students? I was thinking about the fact that who is trying to block us from getting minority scholarships, quote unquote. What you betting on, Riis? You betting on Bridgeport or you betting on Chinatown? If you had to make the pick.
Chinatown. I think that you know how the mayor always, she don't never align herself with black folks anyway. So
but aligning herself with is either the Irish or the Asian.
Right, so she gonna go with this. So
we ain't got nothing to do with this. She ain't never with us.
She gonna go with. I'm going with the Asians.
So let me ask a question: Should the Dalys be wiped off the map and be replaced by the Asians? And where does that fit for black people? And then my next question is: should the county? Then does the county still owe John Daly the finance chair seat? Like, is that now? Like, I guess my thing is, if they do that, then all bets are off. Because they still, then also, now John Daly still would be the committeeman. But then my guess is, just like in most cases, they would come for him in the next election. right? And then you'd have your first Asian American committeeman as well. Where do we fit in this? So what you want? You want Chinatown? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Chinatown or Bridgeport? Only one's going to really last. Like, I'm not going to say one's going to last because Bridgeport will still be Bridgeport, but it will be a shadow of itself. Have you ever driven through Bridgeport?
Yeah, I've driven through it. That's it.
Have you seen the houses that they built over there? Like, I'm talking about Bridge, because when you drive through Bridgeport, it is a monument to the Irish wealth that, Irish and Italian wealth that the Dailies created. Bro, these people have built multi-million dollar mansions on city lots. Remember they told George Wilborn he couldn't move over there. He had the money to buy the house, and they was like, oh, no, no Negroes. So I guess my question is, but you ever seen anybody black live in Chinatown?
Not at all.
You can't even find a crib in Chinatown. It's like, it really ain't going to change much for black people over there, really. Still not going to be welcome. But I do think that we've got to pay attention to this whole thing because, again, Riis, let me run through my options, my points. So do you think they should pick a staff person who works in the office already and just say, let the best man win? Aldermen start circulating petitions in September. So it's really like September they start circulating, the election is in March. So whoever it is gets a year head start. What you think? Should the mayor pick Italian? Or should she pick someone else from the community?
I think she got to stay within the community.
But she has to stay within the community. But yesterday on Chicago Tonight, there were white people who were actually rejoicing as well, who wanted to be in contention. See, I think that there was a split. I think we are watching Riis in slow motion, the dismantling of our history. And I think it's funny because I think that the 11th Ward will soon be known as the home of Chinatown, and Bridgeport will be an afterthought. And I think when you think of it will wipe away a lot of the ugly history that comes with what happened in Bridgeport. Now, will Bridgeport still be Bridgeport? Yeah. But I don't think without the political enforcement, right? You knew that they were going to get snowplowed first, right? Because that was the home of the city. That was the home of the heads, there or Beverly. And so now my question becomes, and if that goes, then what is who become the dominant players in Illinois politics? Do we have any more political families? Or is that the last one? Because I think the era of political dynasties in Chicago, until a new one is created, we may be watching the end of it right now. Who you picking? Bridgeport or Chinatown? 872-259-7474. Bridgeport or Chinatown, which would you prefer? I mean, I think about when you read the American Pharaoh and you read all of the things that were birthed out of Bridgeport that were hate race based. You got to ask. I told you that one time I went over there to go to the restaurant to wait. And it was like, I felt like Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours. You want a white Russian? Eric, are you meeting someone here? And so I do wonder, will Chicago I think the mayor's got a challenge, man. Well, she got plenty of challenges, but I would be interested to see what she's going to do. Will Chicago welcome its first Asian? And let me tell you, here's the other crazy part. 4 years ago, in anticipation of the growing Chinese population, the 11th Ward jettisoned their longtime HDO-based state representative and turned on them to elect Theresa Ma, the first Asian American state representative. And guess what now, Riis? She's the one calling for them to be tossed. See how we're loyal to the past? And you would have thought that she would say, okay, well, let's be loyal to the people who got me here. Guess what she's like? I see my opportunity now, so we're going to call and we're going to push. I think if it was black people, we would be fighting to save them from going over the cliff, if that makes sense. Right? Like, please, Master, don't go. I'm going with you. If you look at everybody else, you look at Gilbert Villegas, beneficiary, longtime beneficiary. You look at Theresa Ma, beneficiary. At this point right now, they are both trying to help them over the cliff. Why? Because they see an opportunity to grab power. Not power by proximity, but power in their own hands. See, we think that our power comes from our association with white folks. They be like, let me get the power and I'll decide how we're going to be judicious with it. Y'all got to pay attention to the power moves that are going on right now. All right, y'all. This is the Mace Jackson Show. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to tell you about my... Riis, did I tell you I was on the grand jury? Angela Kilpatrick, you're going to want to hear this. Since December, I have been part of a Cook County grand jury. And I got to tell y'all, I'm completely nervous about the criminal justice reform system. We're going to talk about it all when we come back. It's the Mace Jackson Show.
The Mace Jackson Show will be back after this break.
Broken screen, crash system. Are you in need of spyware or virus removal from your computer? Well, contact RPC Computer Repair in South Shore and let us help you with all your computer repair services and print needs. Need office or print production services, copies, scans, fax, or even notary service? Then stop by and support RPC Computer Repair and Print Shop located 1741 East 71st Street in the 71st Street corridor, newly revitalized South Shore areas, and let RPC be your one-stop shop, where we believe RPC is your PC. RPC Computer Repair is also a UPS access point where you can drop off and pick up your important packages. So let RPC be of service to you. Call RPC Computer Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. through 6 p.m. at 773-966-4457. That's 773-966-4457. Visit RPC at rpccomputeringinc.com for more information.
And now, traffic and weather.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 8:32 a.m. and I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area traffic and weather report. As we head over to the Kennedy now, O'Hare to the Loop has dropped down to 49 minutes. Outbound to O'Hare will be 20. On the Edens from Deerfield to the Exchange will be 51 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 27. Eisenhower with Thorndale to the Loop, 56 minutes, 34 minutes back out. The Stevenson from I-355 to the Dan Ryan is 51 minutes, outbound 35. On the Bishop Ford, 1 hour from I-80 to the Dan Ryan and 30 minutes to I-80. The Dan Ryan, 25 minutes to the Loop, 15 minutes back to 95th on DuSable Lakeshore Drive. 55th to Jackson South will be 10 minutes. Jackson to 55th will be 7. On the north side of things, Randolph to Bryn Mawr will be 8. Bryn Mawr to Randolph will be 11 minutes. Today's weather, it is currently 48 and mostly cloudy. Today will be a high of 48. No, I'm sorry. Today will be a high of 52 with a low of 42. I'm Riis the Ruler. I love being black here on the Maze Jackson Show.
Better fix your brain, boy. I love my people, hope they love me black. I'm going hard and ain't no holding back. Watch me react, I put my fist up in the skies like a beacon for believers that one day we return to our greatest if we seek it. All the glory we can obtain and keep reaching. I'm painting this picture, I hope you see it. Just what the theme is. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Hey. Well, how about you done seen these tunes too? Customize for you a little something you can groove to. Feeling good about yourself, melanated, mood muse. Always service humble pie, we don't care about who's who. Light brown or dark skin, this right here's for you too. We are the gods of the earth, living proof truth. Say it loud if you black and proud, I salute you and that's a fact. Where you at? Let me hear you say it back. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Hey. Super melanation, renovation of our databases. Gotta fix the trinity to make it past the matrix. There's a rabbit in the hole. Your decision, you gon' chase it or just shut it for complacency. Here's your motivation. Black power in your veins. Up to us to build a nation. European mental detox completely. We erase it. You can't keep fighting over old information. Probably bring it right back if you love being black. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black. Hey. I do this for my people all across the map. Easy for the ones who don't identify with being black. Hebrews the best elixir. Go ahead and try your best. It's truth serum, my loose spirits. The ancestors speak to me and spit the truth. Hear it. You broken souls here to re-engineer them so that they fearless. This person's atmospheric as the hell is spinning. Trying to strategize a way so we can start winning. It begins with pride of yourself. Embracing this feeling. Say no new friends. That's what happened to the village. Too much individualism. It's easier to pillage. I'm just making this appearance for coherence so you can understand what we up against. Hit the reset button, switch covenants. It's my contract to the people that I'm publishing. It's a new era, hood to hood, feel the power, and I'm loving it. Turn up, neck turn up, strapped with the black burner. Murder, you sleeping and I shoot up the server. Corrupted servers at the file, man, it's time to purge them. We waking up and that's what got them nervous. I love being black. We turning up. I love being black. Say it loud, man. I love being black. One more time. I love being black.
You are listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Ruler in the building. Riis, we got any calls on the line? Nobody want to talk about that? They was a little. See, y'all watch again. You watching your future happen in front of you. Understand? We really should be asking the question during this election cycle: where do you stand on the right of undocumented immigrants to vote? Again, you got to listen to Gilbert Villegas. He said, look, man, it's us, and if it wasn't for the Latinos and the Asians, we would have fell off. We would have lost 2 congressional districts. See how he said we already? He done jumped them in. They counting the Latinos as support for them. They going to put the Asian person is going to join in because they'll be solo dolo. They're going to ask them to join the Latino caucus, and then they're going to, right then the next thing when they try to go get another one on Divine, y'all, I told y'all got 6 more months with me. I'm through messing with y'all because y'all gonna let them give. In 6 months, they're gonna have given it all away. I don't understand what y'all don't be understanding. Riis is the Maze Jackson Show. All right. Hey, y'all. Riis for the last, oh, dang. Hey, y'all, I forgot the Black History card. All right, we don't do. Bam, there you go. All right, y'all. It is now. Thank you to Urban Intellectuals. It is now time for our Black History flashcards. This is Black History flashcard number 17, volume 1, The Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804. That's a long time. 1791 to 1804. The Haitian Revolution. The successful anti-slavery and anti-colonial insurrection when they overthrew the French led to the West pulling out of the institution of slavery throughout the Americas. Only slave uprising that led to the founding of a state free from slavery and ruled by non-whites and former captives. Self-liberated slaves destroyed slavery, fought to preserve their freedom, and with the collaboration of mulattoes, founded the sovereign state of Haiti. Challenged long-held beliefs about black inferiority and enslaved persons' capacity to achieve and maintain freedom. That is the Haitian Revolution from 1791 to 1804, courtesy of urbanintellectuals.com. It is the Black History Flashcard, number 17, volume 1. All right, Black History Flashcard, number 10, volume 1. Claudette Colvin, September 5th, 1939 to present. Okay. She was a pioneer in the civil rights movements. 9 months before Rosa Parks on March 2nd, 1955, at an only 15 years old, she refused to move from her seat on the Montgomery-bound segregated bus. She had paid the fare and felt it was her constitutional right to board the bus. She was dragged off the bus, handcuffed, and taken to an adult trial. Colvin is not a much celebrated figure in the African American civil rights movement. Many believe this is because she was perceived to being darker toned and pregnant. Colvin had a child born out of wedlock at age 16. On February 1, 1956, Claudette Colvin served as the star witness alongside 4 other plaintiffs in the Browder versus Gale case. This landmark federal case, chaired by a 3-judge panel, ended the history of segregation on public transportation in Alabama and other states in America. That is Claudette Colvin, September 5th, 1939 to the present. See how your Dr. King
That's the one that my baby called about. You remember she said that?
She should.
And that's what I was like, that's her. And that's crazy that I never knew about that until she said, now look, you come back full circle and read it out the blue.
Man, that is dope. Hold on. What is this? All right, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I don't know what that was. All right, so that's our Black History Month facts. Courtesy of urbanintellectuals.com. Y'all go get the Black History flashcards. They got a lot of them. And shout out to Riis's baby, Demaria. Right? Hey, Demaria. You probably in school now. But we proud of you. You made us proud. Hey, Riis. So look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 8, and I'm missing a few checks.
Balling, man.
Yeah, I am. Riis, I got 8. I be stacking my checks. Stacking these bad.
They ain't cash yet?
I ain't even cash.
Oh, man, you know you a bad man when you got uncashed checks, y'all. That's a bad man. Watch out for him.
I'm trying to see these. Courtesy of Cook County, Illinois. Riis, you know how much these checks are for, though? $17.20 each. You know what I got for? You know what I did for $17.20? Riis, I participated in a county grand jury. So I came home one day, and there was a registered letter, and it was from the Cook County clerk, and I was like, "Oh damn!" I thought I was getting subpoenaed, and it was a subpoena. It was a subpoena to tell me to appear in front of the judge, and since December, I have been a part of a secret grand jury. So every day I would leave up out of here on Tuesday and Thursdays. I would go to the Layton Criminal Building, where I was selected to be on a grand jury. And Riis, every day that I was there, we heard between 50 and 75 cases to decide whether people were going to go to court or not. And while I'm not at liberty to talk about the cases, man, oh man, oh man, oh man. I did a lot of cases that we saw on TV. And a lot of cases that we didn't see on TV that we probably should have. Riis, is some bad people out here. Like bad. And I found myself in a crazy place because as a member of the grand jury, you essentially are the first stop before someone is going to go to court. And like the grand jury stuff I was looking at, like you was going to fight for your life. Like let me say this. There was I don't think I dealt with no misdemeanors. So everything they was talking about was you was getting some time if you went to court. So the first thing I want to say is that when I got it, my first instinct was to figure out everything I could possibly do to get out of it. Because it wasn't like the difference between a grand jury and a regular jury is you get picked for one case. And then you do that case and you're done. Riis, since December, I've been going on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Tuesdays to hear these 50 to 75 cases a day. And I must tell you that there was a moment as we were sitting in the room where I felt like I don't want to get out of it. It's my responsibility because we talk about criminal justice reform all the time, right? And there not being anybody black on the jury or judges or making the decisions. So Riis, I went in and I got selected, and I was impaneled, sworn in as part of this secret grand jury. So I want to start with the experience to tell you that I had a level of pride in doing it. But over the course of the time, I really lost a lot of faith in the process. And then I thought about you a lot because it's like, it was a lot of Pookie stories where we would be like, free Pookie, but you knew, like, he got caught bogus, but he was bogus. And so so I give you a case, right? I'm going to give you an example. I won't tell you a case. But so Riis, I was sitting there in the grand jury, and they tell you have the right to ask or question any piece of evidence, anything you got, right? Like you could say, I want to see the phone records. I want to see pictures. I want to see it all. So Riis, and this is why when I came in here and is that me on the mic or is it just my headphones? Okay. I came in here super frustrated one day, Riis, because cannabis is still illegal for black people. I'll give you an example. So I'm noticing that at a certain point, all of the stories by the police are starting to sound the same. First of all, let me tell you, the police do not offer witness. They don't, like when they say take the stand, they don't give their own testimony. The state's attorney writes the testimony for them, and they say, I agree. So one of the things that I noticed was that one of the ways that people were always getting caught up was the police officer would say they committed a traffic violation. I pulled them over, and then I smelled the strong scent of of cannabis. So, you kind of like, all right, the first two. But then as the story starts to sound the same, and I pulled him over and I smelled the strong scent of cannabis. So, Riis, now mind you, we've done like 30 cases, nobody's asked a question. So I raise my hand and I say, excuse me, officer. Because if you got a gun in the car, maybe I'm crazy. And some people may ride with them on their laps, but I think usually people hide the gun so it's not in plain sight. But that's usually, cannabis is the reason that they tell you to get out the car. So, and you know, once you say cannabis, it's still in our minds, it's still illegal, right? So he says, the cops, and I'm like, I done heard this like at least 10 times, and it's just like, okay. So I raise my hand and I say, officer, was the weed burnt? And everybody's like, looking at me like I'm stupid, And he was like, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. I said, well, officer, was the weed burned? How did you smell it? And he was like, it was cannabis. I said, but would you agree that there's a different smell between burnt cannabis and cannabis in the car? Because it's legal to have cannabis in the car as long as it's in a smell-proof, seal-proof bag. So after being frustrated and answering wrong, he was consulted by the state's attorney, and they said, oh, we smelled the smell of burning cannabis in the car. Riis, I BS you not. First of all, everybody in the room got mad at me, including the black people. Like all the juries, because they feel like their job is to not ask questions and to be in agreement with the police. And my premise is, we as black people know that we get jacked, and we done just listen to them tell us the same story. If y'all remember Pat Camden, when Pat Camden, you'll wake up in the morning and be like, the offender was fleeing the police officers. The police officers gave chase. The suspect turned around and appeared to have an object, and they shot him and killed him. It was kind of like that same thing. Riis, do you know that they changed the way that the cops testified from that point on? So now, instead of coming in so that I wouldn't ask questions, every time the cop came in, they said, and we smelled the strong odor of burnt cannabis.
You put them on game.
But my thing was, so the cop answered wrong. All the people in the room got mad at me for even asking a question, including the black people, and it was obvious he was lying. Now, they did find a gun. But my point is, if you got me dirty, they was like, it's not your job to ask those questions. Well, what questions am I supposed to ask? Because I'm sitting here listening. Like one time, I had an officer say, I saw, he was looking at, I can't remember, but he basically said you had to be looking in the car and he was behind the car. And so I was like, officer, how did you see that? And he was like, I was like, were you in front of the car or are you behind the car? He was like, I was behind the car. I was like, so how could you see what he had in his mouth if you were behind him? So, Riis, every time there was, for like the first 5-6 weeks, every time there was a weed case, I'd be like, excuse me. Because, again, they were locking people up based on cannabis. Based on the strong smell of cannabis. And I'm saying to myself, they locked somebody up for cannabis who he had in his house. And I was like, wait, I thought cannabis was legal. So we exonerating all these people, but it's also still a tool. Let me back up. In the grand jury setting, have you ever heard the statement that the state's attorney can indict a ham sandwich?
Yeah.
They can literally indict a ham sandwich. It is.
Like I said, I've been. I know. It's just the way, like you saying, like the strong, you know what I'm saying, smell. Like I told you one of the last time I was pulled over. The cop just assumed that I turned into the gas station to get a pop for my wife, and then he just assumed you turned in there to avoid me. And I was like, I can show you a text message where she asking me to like go to there, and then his next question is there a dead body in your trunk? Like, you know, and that's the reason why if a cop pulled me over, it's always going, if you pull me over in a car, in a automobile, I've committed a driving violation. Is no reason why I should get out the car. I need a white shirt. I'm not getting out.
Well, I'm telling you, and I'm saying,
the whole squad,
and they be like, it was the strong. And then let me tell you, they'll say it was the strong smell of cannabis and Riis. And what the craziest part was sitting there with all them black people, knowing damn well I was sitting next to this black girl who, like, she basically was. I was like, now I'm looking at you like, you and your cousins are definitely getting pulled over right outside this building. And you trying to snap on me for asking. Look, all I did was ask the question. Answer the question. I didn't say you was wrong, but the whole concept of not even being questioned, and then the state's attorney's looking at me like, rolling your eyes, and it became a point, Riis, where they was, I could tell you this, Riis, that between 40 and 75 cases a day, I can honestly tell you that there were not 10 questions asked a day by the grand jury. The other part that was so crazy to me was in the cattle call, how many black people were trying to get out of it. And the white people was like, yes, and I promise you, they was more than happy to cook y'all ass.
I'm already knowing.
Them people was like, we're saying no, we trying to get out, and they like, man, I'll take that day. I'll take that day. Now, let me tell you, Riis.
I don't know why is that in the community? Like I ain't gonna lie, I've done it a million times. I ain't gonna say I know somebody that has avoided you. I
mean, because we don't. It's like, again, it's the same thing like when I ask you, why are you paying people to sign petitions that are going to take you out? It's because, again, we don't understand our own self-interest. I thought, even if I stood up and said something like within the process, and I do feel like there was a change. Like, if you ever get a grand jury and they ask you, do you smell burnt cannabis instead? Because, again, dude was so confused, which made me know he was lying. Because, bro, you know the difference between burnt cannabis and weed that's just powder. Because I was just like, dang, was it just that flame that you could smell it through the bag?
It's a big difference. You know, you can smoke in your car, and your car can just have
your car can always smell like weed.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, now I cannot smoke, and now you pulling me over because, okay, well, so now what if I tell you I smoke in my car but I haven't smoked? So, like, at what point, is that going to always be a way to just, like, get out the car? That's the reason why I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm
Riis, and then it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but it is set up for the prosecutor to win. It ain't set up to be fair. It's like the lady who sits as the judge, and I'm not dissing her. She says, you know how people just refollow? So if you raise your hand and nod, everybody's going to raise their hand and nod. And I was like, no. And then it got to a point where it's like everybody glaring at you because you asking the simplest question that seems so, bro, you couldn't have seen that from the back. You couldn't. The room is dirty, right? It's not clean. They got terrible chairs. Like, I feel like for the people that are going to be public servants, and I recognize that it's the county and we ain't, but I mean, I feel like the people that make the sacrifice to do that, they should do a much better job. And Riis, I'll tell you why I wouldn't do it. For 8 hours of work every day, they pay me $17.20. I lost money doing my public service. All of these checks added up don't equal 1 day of my work. And, you know, I was really proud when I initially got, what's my? Oh, okay, Dad, you scared the shit out of me. Oh, excuse me, scared the heck out of me.
You gotta tell when somebody coming in.
Right. That is Miss Sonia Tompkins. But Riis, I just gotta say this. I gotta say that we have to do a better job as black people when we have the opportunity. I'ma also say that I really wish that the state, I have no ill will. The state's attorneys were nice. They were cool. You know, they had a presumption that they were supposed to just get, that they wasn't supposed to be asked no questions, which really bothered me.
For $18 a day, do you think that's why they do it? So just imagine you're a regular black person. Now I'm called in. Now I gotta do this. I'm making $18 a day. That's probably like in normal world, like 2 hours of work. So now I'm losing money. Do you think the fact that they keep it low because they know that the majority of black people is gonna say, "Heck no, I ain't finna come for $18 a day," and I got to be at work and I got bills to pay? Do you believe that's like a way that the government is trying to?
I think that the way it's supposed to work is
like.
So I think yes and no. Yeah, I think this. I think that the grand jury system is definitely. It seems honorable when you start, but when you realize it is just a continuation of the grind, right? Where it's just to chew up and like by the time it was over, Riis, like I like, why am I keep asking about the cannabis? Why am I keep asking questions? By the end of it, you just raising your hand and you just sending people right along.
And that's what they banking on.
And
right
you wind up, they wear you down. But I'm saying, then they give you a crappy lunch, right? So you here all this time, you waiting till 12 o'clock for the bell to ring. The best thing there was the coffee. But I just felt like, man, y'all not going to vacuum the room. Y'all not going to clean. Y'all not going to make it inviting. Nothing. And I do feel like they tell you can ask whatever questions, but you really can't. Because the people in the room will be so mad at you. That grand jury experience, I'm going to tell you, there was the proudness. Hey, Kevin, the job still pay you while I own my own company, bro. So I'm going to do, pay myself back for being on jury duty. Right? Again, I lost thousands and thousands of dollars, but I did it, and I want to encourage you all to do it. But I also want you to ask questions.
And don't let them weigh you down, man. Be the same, man, because I know that's what they want. Yeah, they like, yeah, man, I pulled him over.
Riis.
I sat in the car, I smelled the weed as I was 3 blocks away from him.
Riis, I had a cop.
Yes.
We had a cop say he was driving. It was 11 o'clock at night. He saw a guy with a blunt down the alley. He saw him with the blunt.
The cherry was lit real well.
He then he made furtive movements that he recognized as a police officer, so it made him stop him. And I was like,
and everybody raised their hand and sent him on through. And now that black man is on trial for that's
and then the black people argue me, that's not your job to ask. That's his lawyer job. Well, first of all, part of the thing is you're going to bleed him out because he's... Man, and Riis, I got to tell you, there are certain groups that... I'm going to tell y'all, there's certain groups y'all got to keep y'all kids away from. I don't even want to tell y'all. Some of the stuff that I saw, some of the stories is like, it's traumatic. But I will tell you, I spent the last 3 months on a grand jury, y'all. Black people, that's why I told you, I got 6 months with me. Because I was like, you think you gonna be in solidarity with the black people, and the black people like, white people, what y'all say? We with the white people. Yeah, but they just told you. I'd be like, that's your cousin. Anyway, y'all, it's the Mace Jackson Show. I'm about to get up out of here. Yeah, you can vote no on the indictment, but guess what? You gonna get ran because everybody else is voting yeah.
So it's not a unanimous thing?
No, it's not. It's more likely than not that they did. So you raise your hand. And like, so I'm on the record being like, no. But the rest of the people be like, vote his ass down. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. I really if I wasn't scared to call Kim Fox because I'd be on the, they'll be talking about her, I would call her and say, y'all got to do something better because this was just not right. It was just not right. And y'all got to do a better job of cleaning that county building. It's the Mace Jackson Show. I'll take the caller before we get out of here. Caller, you on the Mace Jackson Show.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
What up, James? See, Ruthie ain't here, so he called.
What's up? Unfortunately, Ruthie is not there. You still don't have another girl. So, but I want to say this. The police always have the same words, and I'm glad you mentioned that about how was the weed burning, or did you smell it through the bag, whatever. If you're in the area and say there's prostitution going on there, or there's people selling drugs, or it's gangs around, they'll say, "Oh, this is a well-known area. That's why they pulled you over."
Yep.
It's also houses and apartment buildings. So one time I got pulled over on Jackson on the west side. I couldn't remember quite where my cousin lived because I hadn't been there in a while. And I got pulled over and they wanted to see my license. What'd I do? I wasn't speeding. I wasn't doing anything, but they saw me and for some reason felt like they wanted to stop me. I showed them my license because I didn't know my rights. And they're like, "Oh, you live in Oak Park." I'm like, "What that mean?" Now, this is back in the 90s. I didn't understand. But white people had already started gravitating toward the west side to pick up drugs. I don't do drugs, And so it's like when you go to court, well, this is a well-known area for drugs and prostitution and gangs, but okay, but what you pulled me over for? You making up stuff. And I'm glad you mentioned that. Because if it's a residential area, how you know I'm not looking for somebody's house?
No, that's true. Let me tell you. I would tell you, James, first of all, thank you. I'm going to tell you, Riis, they got it. It's like, the whole I fear for my life, right? Like when they got a whole rap. Let me tell you, the police do not even testify. The state's attorney writes up their whole testimony and says, "Is it true that you saw such and such steal the thing? Did you blah, blah, blah? Did he? Is it true that how did you find that out through your investigations? Did you?" So the cop don't even got to really testify. And then they say, do you swear that this is all true through your how do you know? Through my investigations of my report. Thank you very much. Are there any questions? Let's go, witness. Do you vote a true bill of indictment? Yes. It'd be like, dog, they don't even read the whole thing and you got your hand up. You don't read the whole thing, your hand up. You probably at some point looking at Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. People going. It's just tough, man. Criminal justice reform. Oh, no, man. It's the Mace Jackson Show. Shout out to all of our states. Shout out to all of our public defenders. Woo. The worst, though, is when they bring them shorties in DOC. Not from the juvie, but from DOC. And you be like, "Oh, shorty. You in the big boy jail? You in the big boy jail. Oh, you don't sleep well at night." Tough world out there, Riis. Tough world. And do not, ladies, let me just tell y'all this. Do not marry some new dude or bring some dude in your house when you got a daughter. Them stories, I was like, if I hear this story one more time, And I heard it every time. And it's the same. Whew. There should, like, ladies, I gotta be honest with you. Sorry, it ain't the same for men and women, but women, man, with all this. And then let me just tell you about Wally and Eddie. Riis, Wally and Eddie be catching a case every damn week. They be messing with them little black girls in them stores. Booze. I bet. Hey, man, Wally and Eddie, y'all brothers, we need to be watching Wally and Eddie. Look, this is the Mace Jackson Show. I'm your host, Mace Jackson. Got my man, DJ Riis, the ruler. For me, Riis, and Ruthie, I am the host of the Mace Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Mace said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the... Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA